Well. Big time show today. Absolutely big time show. We won't be seeing the Dallas Cowboys again. I think it's about 3 weeks out, somewhere around July the 28th. But yet and still, the show must go on and continue to break whatever Cowboys news we can break, especially when the Cowboys are being whisper, or not even whisper quiet. They are being absolutely quiet as it applies to this offseason. But nevertheless, I have an absolutely great show planned for y'all today. We have a surprise not press conference, but we have an interview. I don't know if you've seen it. We have the most recent interview of Brian Schottenheimer. And it's not by the major networks, and it's not by a major podcast at this time. And it just goes to show you what kind of man Brian Schottenheimer is. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. What is going on? What it do, Dallas Cowboy fans? Y'all know what time it is. No matter what the day, no matter what week, no matter what month it is, we are going to find the news about the Dallas Cowboys, or Let's Talk Cowboys. Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you'll know the next time we post another video or go live. And yes, we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what in the world are you waiting on? We have a lot of great content coming up the rest of this season. Now let's talk facts. We have a great show today. We are going to be tuning in to the Twin Takes podcast. And I didn't know who they were, but I'm thankful to the YouTube algorithm that I saw them flash across my screen this morning, and I saw Brian Schottenheimer. I'm like, what? Yes, we are going to listen to the Twin Takes podcast. And we're going to listen to their interview of one Brian Schottenheimer and Mrs. Brian Schottenheimer. We won't listen to the whole thing. It's an hour long, but we may listen to maybe half of it today, half of it tomorrow. How about we do that? We'll listen to half of it today, half of it tomorrow. Then we'll get back to that Brian Schottenheimer important press conference I started letting you hear last week. Then, ESPN. They have released their 2026 football or NFL rankings. And I don't know if y'all seen it, but it's very interesting where they ranked the Dallas Cowboys. Also, they've also ranked the top running backs, or they've ranked all the running backs in the league this season. And I think we're going to be surprised where they have Javonte Williams. Then, Mina Kimes and Ryan Clark, they are doing their annual Power Hour. I mean, it's my first time hearing about it. But nevertheless, it came across the screen today, and they are doing their Power Hour. And I think we'll find it very interesting once again. What do they have to say about our beloved Dallas Cowboys? And then our final segment for today, we will be checking out the SAC Summit. I was looking over on X, seeing what was going on today, and come to find out that there is a SAC Summit this year. Donovan Ezraku said he is going to the SAC Summit. And in case you don't know what the SAC Summit is, I'm going to give you all the background information, or at least I'm going to give you the website and let you see what the SAC Summit is, so you know what I'm talking about. So that is going to be the show for the day. Man, we are loaded. Plenty to talk about next on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's get it. Let's get this roll call in. We'll greet everybody else as they come in. But whether it be 100 or 100,000, we're about to talk Cowboys. What is going on, real estate vet? What is going on? Hope all is well. I know it's hot because it's hot over here in Texas. What is going on? Jeremy Betts. What up, Jeremy? All is well. Hope all is well with you. Big Mouse Dog. What is going on, Big Mouse Dog? It is the Queen. What is going on, Queen? Demetrius Noel. Yeah, he said, what up, Cowboys Nation? Dolores Ennis, what is going on? Marvin Mays, what is going on with you? Football Fanatic, what is up? Gabe Robinson. Renan Zanguini, what is going on? T-Texas 214, what is going on? King Gresh in the building. What up, King Gresh? Good to see you. Carl Williams. He said Cowboys top 10 defense loading. Thomas Goldring Jr. Robert Dudley. What is going on? 72 Chevelle. You know I always got the news. What's going on, Jabril Quinn? Gregory Hicks. What is going on? JCT Slice said, I don't know what I will say if Javonte has the type of season he had last season to pair with Dak and those wide receivers. This offense will be nasty. So will our team be. We still have 4. Hey, let me tell you something. I think it's going to be better than last year. Because I think it's going to be better than last year, JCT Slice. I believe he'll be fresher, longer than he was last year with the addition of Phil Moffitt and Jaden Blue. What's up, Nace? What up? There will be blood. What up? Hey, Prashowers. What is going on? It is none other than Dak Stress Scott. He said, welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Come in, hit the like button, let your opinion be heard. Also, keep the chat clean. All right, let's finish up this roll call, and then we end like Flynn, whoever Flynn is. Sammy's Fan Show, what is going on? Jimmy Bailey, what up? Andre, what up, Andre Johnson? What up with you? Good to see you today. Eric Folks in the building. What up, 817? You dig? What up? What up, Renee Davis? What's going on? You caught another one. What up, Randy Cowdell? Appreciate that super chat. Yeah, man, I've been reporting on him all week. You know what? I forgot about that, Randy Cowdell. Appreciate that super chat. You know what? I'm going to look that up while we're listening to the podcast from Twin Takes. What's up, Roosevelt? What's up, Killtown Dude from the 903? All right. Man, let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road today. And y'all do me a favor. Give yourselves a hand. Best chat on YouTube. Frank Lawrence in the building. What up, Frank Lawrence? Now, y'all do me a favor. C-Boy and Marshall, what's going on? USMC is in the building. Salute. Y'all do me a favor. I'm going to put these young men's podcast in the chat. As of now, they are up to 703 subscribers. Let's see if we can get them as many subscribers as we can. I'm going to put the link to their page in the chat. Make sure you tell them Let's Talk Cowboys sent you. But these young men, I was wondering, how did they get this interview with Brian Schottenheimer? Because you already know, because I'm like, if they got an interview with Brian Schottenheimer, I'm like, I'm one of Brian Schottenheimer's biggest fans. I'm kind of like, how does a brother like me get me an interview with Brian Schottenheimer? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, at first I was kind of, okay, these guys are related. These guys are related or something. So I was thinking that maybe they were his nephews or something to that degree. Went and did a little research on them. And let me kind of tell you who they are before we listen to them. Because I had to really know who they were. Because I've never heard of these guys. Their name is Luke and Jackson Hershey. That is the name of these young men. Luke and Jack Hershey. They have the Twins Take podcast. And the way that they are related to Brian Schottenheimer, they grew up next door to late NFL coach Marty Schottenheimer. Yeah. Which led to a close relationship with his son, Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer. All right. And so Brian Schottenheimer, along with his wife, I think that's Gemmi, appeared as a special guest on their show for the 100th episode, where they discussed his career, his faith, his father's legacy. And it just goes to show you what kind of man that Brian Schottenheimer is, that he would do something like this for these young men to get them out there, because I believe it's going to help them in their podcast career. But it's just really great for Brian Schottenheimer just to do something like this. Because I'm sure, people have to pay for stuff like this. That's why I was telling y'all. I mean, I was kind of scheming on how could I get me an interview. I don't have this kind of inside information or inside relationship. But nevertheless, these guys, the Twin Takes podcast, they were able to get an interview with Brian Schottenheimer. And before we read that, or listen to that, I'm sorry, let me read a couple comments in here. I appreciate some of the comments you guys are making here in the background as more people come in. Yeah, you dig. He said, shout out, G. He said, you came a long way. Appreciate you dig, because you've been with me to even know that. So I appreciate you dig. Yes, sir. Mark Davis, what's going on is in the crib. He said, I remember when your room was plain Jane. Man, my TV, and something's going wrong with my TV back here. So I won't be able to have my screen up, but nevertheless, yes, sir, we came a long way, man. And hopefully we're going to be going even further, man. I appreciate you continuing with me on the journey. What's up, Drake? Gerald Jackson, what's going on? Frank Lawrence said Twin Takes interview with Schotty was nice. Yeah, the Twins next door neighbors, the Marty Schottenheimer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There would be blood. Appreciate you. He said, G, we're just a reflection of your work in Cowboys world. Frequently asked questions. You stay blessed, my dog. Yes, sir. You too. Appreciate all of y'all, man. Wouldn't be what it is without the best chat on YouTube. All right. Appreciate you, Mark Davis. Yes, sir. You said I'm one of them ones. You are too, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the support from Cowboys Nation, man. We about to go into, year 3 of covering the Cowboys, and, man, it's going to be great this season. It's going to be another great season, God willing. I think we're watching something that's absolutely incredible. All right, man. So we're going to get into this thing with the Twin Takes podcast. The Twin Takes podcast. Without further ado, what's going on, Just Lee? Without further ado, let's see what it do.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Okay, now I didn't recognize some of them people in the introduction. Did y'all recognize any of them? I mean, for these guys, to just kind of be starting, I mean, man, seems like they've been landing some pretty good interviews. But I mean, Brian Schottenheimer, man, that's one of them ones right there that'll get you out there. So I told them, I mean, it's not like I talked to them, but I sent them a message and told them I'm going to try to get them as many subscribers and bring attention to their channel, as much attention to their channel as I can, and appreciate them, covering Brian Schottenheimer. So let's keep listening.
Welcome back to the Twin Take podcast. We're your hosts, Luke and Jackson Hershey, twins from Charlotte, North Carolina, same face, two opinions. And guys, this is one of our favorite episodes we have ever filmed, and we're super excited to tell you all about it.
Yeah, it's first of all, this series we've been doing of this road trip series, going around the country, interviewing our favorite athletes, our favorite coaches, has been one of our favorite things we've ever gotten to do with this show. And we were so beyond blessed. This is an episode that's been in the works for months. And we got the opportunity to get invited to the Dallas Cowboys football facility to have the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, and his wife, Miss Gemmi Schottenheimer, on the show. And the Schottenheimer family, one, is an amazing family. They've been nothing but kind to us, and it really starts back for us with Coach's dad. For us, that was Mr. Marty. He was our next door neighbor for really the first 10, 12 years of our life, and he was like a grandpa to us, and he was the 7th winningest coach in the NFL. He's an NFL legend, and Brian really grew under him and learned how to coach under him, and just over the past year got the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys position. And so this is an episode 1 that means a lot to us. It tells so much about his story, their story.
What up, Nisi?
And we are so excited.
Country Field,
to drop
Timothy
this
Johnson,
episode.
what's up?
So without further ado, let's jump into this week's episode of the Twin State Podcast, live in the Dallas Cowboys facility with Miss Gemmi Schottenheimer and Coach Schottenheimer. Let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back at the Twin State Podcast. We're your hosts, Luke and Jackson Hershey, twins from Charlotte, North Carolina. Same face, two opinions. And we are so excited because we flew all the way to Dallas, Texas. We're sitting right here in the Cowboys, the Star, actually. We got Coach Schottenheimer and Miss Gemmi on the show today. First of all, thank you guys so much. I mean, this is unbelievable. Thank you guys so much for doing this in the offseason. We really do appreciate y'all.
We're fired up. You guys are here. Yeah.
We're excited to see y'all. We're so proud of y'all. All that y'all are doing. It's awesome.
We can't wait. I know everyone's kind of going to Auburn now, so it's, I mean, you can't make that stuff up. I want to ask, I mean, we just got through with the draft, which I'm sure as a coach, that's a long process. What have those last couple of weeks been like for you, and now that you kind of have a little bit of time to reflect on that?
Yeah, I think what's been cool for us is the draft, happened late April. We got them here for a couple of days for rookie minicamp, but now we're seeing them out there on the field with the vets. Yeah. And what I think's been so cool for me is watching the veteran players understand how important it is to get the young guys ready to go, prepared, but feel comfortable. We think, their ability to get here and be comfortable, be confident in what they're doing, but really the connection piece for us is always real. And we talk a lot around here about brotherhood, and so it's been cool for me to see a guy like Dak Prescott really lean into Caleb Downs, and Rashawn Gary lean into Malachi Lawrence, and it's fun to watch those guys because they were the rookies years ago, and now they're giving back.
Man, I love that. And speaking about Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence, what is it like on draft day getting to make those?
All right, I want y'all to just pay attention to something that you're seeing. And Nisi, Queen, y'all answer me this. Y'all answer me this. I call y'all out in particular. Y'all tell me this, Queen and Nisi. Tell me, do y'all notice that of everybody that we've ever seen Brian Schottenheimer talk to, like an interview, am I going crazy, or is this the most relaxed and comfortable that we've ever seen Brian Schottenheimer in any kind of interview? This interview, just from the moment of the first question and answer, it's like the answer for Brian Schottenheimer is just so natural. And the reason why I'm saying this is it goes to show you that Brian considers them as family, and family he can trust. The rest of y'all tell me what y'all think. But I've watched a lot of interviews and a lot of press conferences with Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, I don't think I've missed one. And this has to be the most relaxed that he has ever looked to me. Now, let me scoot this to number 2. One of the reasons why is he considers these young men to be family. But maybe there's another part in there. He's got his wife sitting with him. And maybe number 1, that's why he's so comfortable. She's sitting next to him. Number 2, this is family. And y'all all tell me what you think, even though I called out Nisi and Queen. But also for me, it goes to show you like who you're dealing with when you're talking about Brian Schottenheimer. And this is why I keep telling everybody that you can trust Brian Schottenheimer. I don't care what anybody tells me about they can't trust Jerry Jones. I don't care about any of that stuff. But one thing that I believe you can trust, I believe you can trust Brian Schottenheimer. Because we've been listening to the past Brian Schottenheimer press conferences and interviews, and everything that Brian Schottenheimer said in his opening press conference he was going to do, he's doing. The things he said he was going to do in the second most important press conference to me, everything he said he was going to do, he's doing. And so when I see these young men and these young men talking about, they called Marty Schottenheimer, he was like a grandpa to them. This goes to show you the kind of man that you're dealing with. The kind of man that we have as our head coach. And the same thing that they built with these young men that live next door to them, to Marty Schottenheimer, they have turned these young men into their family. So imagine what Brian Schottenheimer, and not just Brian Schottenheimer, imagine what Brian Schottenheimer, his wife Gemmi, and his rest of his family, imagine what they've done to the Dallas Cowboys organization. It's not the on the field stuff. A lot of people keep talking about the on the field stuff. I'm cool with the on the field stuff. But what is more impressive to me about Brian Schottenheimer? It's what he does off the field. It's what he's creating off the field, in the locker room. It's those types of things. Because I believe those are the kinds of things that builds the hearts of champions and builds championship teams.
Calls. I mean, it's so cool all around the NFL getting to see the coaches and GMs. But what was it like in this on this team?
Yeah, it was fascinating. Number one,
What up, Gregory Davis?
We had 4 guys targeted that we really felt really strongly about that would fit great in our culture and our football team, and Caleb was at the top of that list. We actually had a deal in place. We had a trade in place with Kansas City that we were hoping to be able to make a move for. Well, they moved up early in the draft to top 4 or 5 for Mansour Delane. And so we were kind of like, okay, we've lost that opportunity. But the draft is very, it's the unknown. And so as Caleb started to fall, he was hitting there 9, 10. The Giants were on the clock at 10. We thought they would take him because we knew Coach Harbaugh had talked about how much he saw him as a generational safety. And when they didn't take him, he fell to 11. The phone rang. We were talking back and forth with Miami. But we could have sat and waited, but we were concerned someone might move up ahead of us at 12. Everyone knew that we were interested in Caleb. And so when Jerry and Steven acted quickly along with Will McClay and made the move, we were stoked. It was great.
What's it like sitting in?
Yeah, man, a lot of people are mad at the Cowboys, saying they didn't have to give up that little bit extra to get Caleb Downs. But I'll tell you this, I'm glad they did it. I have no problems with what they did to get Caleb Downs, that little bit of extra. I'm not mad. And, I'm so glad that we're getting Brian Schottenheimer in this type of element because, again, it's like we're getting that real, true Brian Schottenheimer, man. You're getting that real, true Brian Schottenheimer and just uncut and raw and just so relaxed and just everything just seemed natural in everything that he's saying. What's going on, Mondos? Appreciate you from the 210. Gerald Jackson said, yeah, he's in his element. He said the way they talk to each other, spot on, G. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Nisi said he's super relaxed. King Gresh said, yeah, wife being there, that helps. Yeah, man. Yeah, hey, Texas, 214. Man, this is the most relaxed I've ever seen Brian Schottenheimer. Quinn says, yeah, they family. It's the most relaxed. What's going on, Bass? It is the most relaxed I've ever seen him. Lewis said it's like talking to his nephews. Yeah, Brian Mayer Baby said, we know he saw him. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, and he said he is super relaxed. He is super relaxed. And I think this is coming from the fact, you think about whenever Brian Schottenheimer is being interviewed by the media at large. Whenever Brian is being interviewed by the media, he's always got to stay on his toes because somebody might ask him a question, and nothing against Clarence Hill. But we all know Clarence Hill sometimes will ask the questions that nobody else will ask. And Clarence Hill is he's got to always be on the guard for somebody like a Clarence Hill or Tim Calishaw, really challenging him on certain things. And so it's almost like with the media, you don't really have that trust. But with these guys, it's like, okay, There's a lot of trust here. This is family. So I don't have to worry about them trying to embarrass me in a question, expose me, or trying to bring out something that I didn't want to be known. Doesn't have to worry about that with these young men. I absolutely appreciate that, and I would love to see him in this element more. Queen said, yes, G, Schotty seems very relaxed, and I love the way he is moving. Our boys are really going to be composed this year. Our boys are considered his family. Awesome job. And that's the part I keep trying to point out to people. It's not the Jerry thing that I'm so concerned about as much as I'm concerned about what Brian has done to Jerry. Brian Schottenheimer has done such a good job. And my uncle is very skeptical about the Dallas Cowboys. He was talking to me yesterday at worship, after worship, and he told me after worship, he said, with the way that they are doing things, I believe they're going to the playoffs this year. Now, if you knew my uncle, if he tell you the Cowboys are going to the playoffs, that's like saying they're going to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. That's like saying they're going to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, boy. Because he older than me, boy. He is old school Cowboys fan. Boy, it is so hard to sway him that things are going better. But, man, hey, I'm telling you, he's like, shoot, man, the way they doing things now, I feel like they are at least going to the playoffs, so I love it. Lisa says, Schotty needs to do more home interviews. He's in control. I love it. Nisi, all Brian Schottenheimer has to do, all he has to do, Nisi, is give me an interview. All he has to do is give me an interview. Just give me an interview. It'd be the same way. There will be blood, said, gee, we will never see this type of relaxed environment, in my opinion, again, in any professional sport. Too much pressure in politics. Man, you are not lying. You are not lying. Yes, you are not lying, man.
In a draft room with Jerry Jones, like, I mean, are you stressed going into a trade like that?
You know, Jerry keeps it comfortable, man. Jerry keeps it relaxed. That's one of the things I love about the guy. You know, he's been doing this for so many years, and, you know, he doesn't get rattled by much. But what I love, what we built here, again, through the leadership of Jerry and Steven, is the way we communicate, the way we talk, we share ideas. We don't go into draft night without a plan. We have a plan. You have to be ready to adapt like you do on game day. But through Jerry's leadership, man, it's just and the aggressive style. Like, again, we didn't have to move up. You know, we gave up 2 fifth-round picks to move up 1 spot, and people thought we were crazy. But what did we do a couple picks later? We traded with Philadelphia. We said, we don't need those 5th-round picks. We got a couple 4th-round picks back, and that's what I love about the Joneses.
And this is, I think, the NFL.
What do I keep telling y'all about Jerry Jones? And people don't like what I'm telling you. What do I keep telling you about Brian Schottenheimer and the way he does things? Brian Schottenheimer is making sure he's never going to make the mistake that Jimmy Johnson made. See, a lot of people don't understand this part. Jimmy is also to blame for Jimmy not continuing as the coach of the Cowboys. And Jimmy admitted that in the Netflix special, as well as Jerry kept talking about that in the Netflix special. Jimmy didn't want to give Jerry any credit. None. What do I keep pointing out about Brian Schottenheimer? Christian Parker said it. Nobody talked about it. Brian Schottenheimer said it before Christian Parker. Nobody talked about it. Brian Schottenheimer says it again. Nobody talks about it. And the reason why people don't talk about it is they don't like it. But Schottenheimer said, under the leadership of Jerry Jones. Yeah. Did y'all catch that? Under the leadership of Jerry Jones. What did Christian Parker say? Jerry Jones has a clear vision of what he wants this team to be. I keep saying it. I'm going to tell you the problem. See, nobody wants to put Jerry Jones and leadership in the same sentence. I understand it. I can understand nobody wanting to do that. But what I also have to acknowledge that if Brian is saying it, if Christian Parker is saying it, then I'm believing it. Then I'm believing it. Because we have to acknowledge Jerry hired Brian Schottenheimer, and everybody thought he was crazy. There's not a lot of people calling him crazy now. Jerry hired Christian Parker under the advice of Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah, that's leadership. Jerry Jones did that. And when Jerry Jones hired both of them, I guarantee you that Jerry Jones told them what he wanted to accomplish and told them, now tell me, how can we accomplish it? And this is what we're watching. Brian Schottenheimer has came in and changed this organization. Not through force, not through friction, not through division, but through unity, communication, and just being a great man. That's it. I'm going to tell y'all something about character. A lot of people don't understand this. Character will take you places that your talent can't. Character will take you places that your talent can't. Character will take you places where people are more talented than you can't get because they don't have your character. Character will take you places that will blow your mind. And what we are watching with Brian Schottenheimer is, this man is a high character individual. Faith, family, football. And I absolutely love it. Character will get you places that talent will not. And Poobie D, I'm going to tell you something else. Don't discount this part. Poobie D, it's not just the fact of Jerry getting tired of getting beat. I think Jerry was tired of getting beat when he hired Mike McCarthy. Because Jerry had visions of sugar plums dancing in his head with Mike McCarthy. Jerry thought he was getting a Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy. And I'm telling you, in 2023, we all know this, Jerry thought they were going to the Super Bowl. And that's why Jerry crashed out when they got destroyed in that 2023 playoff game by the Green Bay Packers. But one of the things, Poobie D, that Schotty has done that nobody else has been able to do, they didn't just... Schotty has been able to change Jerry Jones. Not just change his mind, but change him because of the way Schotty does things. Schotty is helping Jerry Jones to be a better man. I'm telling y'all something, don't you ever discount this in your life. Your character is everything, man. Your character is everything. Your character will get you things that people who have more money than you, have more talent than you, have more influence than you, they have so many more things than you, except for your character. And I'm telling you, man, your character will take you places that other things can't. And that's the difference in Brian Schottenheimer and everybody that we've met up until now in Jimmy Johnson. Schotty is really a throwback. And I don't really call him a throwback to Jimmy, even though I think he's doing some Jimmy things. Schotty to me is more of a throwback to guys like Tom Landry. And even how he talked about how Pete Carroll influenced him. See, Pete Carroll's he's an old dog. And they value relationships. They value morals. They value morals and values and character and relationships. They value those things. And that's what we're watching in Schotty. And that's how he's been able to change Jerry. Because Schotty has built a relationship I just don't think we've seen many people have. And we know Jerry loves relationships.
Particular, it's such a cool organization to work for. I actually talked to your mom this morning. I was trying to get an inside scoop. I was like, anything, pretty much. I was trying to get something to pretty much to bring up. She said, sure. I got nothing. I'm not going to put him under the bus, which was probably good on her part. But I want to go back to, I mean, when you got this job a year ago, first of all, congratulations. I mean, I don't know that there's a really cool franchise to be the head coach of, but I want to, how did this kind of all come to be? I know you were here for 2 years prior. Was being the head coach here really ever a thought in your mind?
I don't think so. I think, I actually came to Dallas needing a break. So I was fired in Seattle after going 12-4 and setting records, the most points scored in franchise history. And, Pete Carroll and I kind of agreed to disagree, go a different direction. I ended up going to Jacksonville, worked for Urban Meyer, and that didn't go very well. And so I was thinking about taking a year off. I'd been coaching for a long time. Gemmi and I had spent a lot of time talking, and that was the plan. The plan was to take, that year off and reconnect with her and the kids. Sutton and Savannah, our two kids, were, as you guys know, they were in the midst of high school, and I had missed a lot through this journey of the NFL that she knows. And Mike McCarthy, who was the head coach here previously, and I had a conversation, and we started talking about, well, what would it look like if you just stayed involved and you were a consultant? And I was like, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'd like to do that. That would make some sense. So the more we talked, the more it kind of came together. And the message that I leave with my kids and other people I talk to, I said, you're always being evaluated. So here I was, a consultant 5 years ago, and the next year I became the offensive coordinator, and we had some great success. And then the next year was still the offensive coordinator. And then when they decided to make the decision to move on from Mike McCarthy, my plans were I was going someplace else to be a coordinator, but
God had a different plan.
Yeah, God had a different
Definitely
plan.
had a different plan.
And
thank you, Ms. Schottenheimer. God had a different plan. Yeah, God had a different plan. No doubt about it. Yeah, God had a different plan. Yeah, Jabril. Yeah, Quinn. Yeah, let me tell you something. Brian got the trust of his players, front office, and the fans. And character is a representation of who you are. And Quinn, let me really hone in on this. See, it's one thing when somebody says that they, I talked about this last week, and people talk about faith and all these different things. And, people always run around, as I said before, and, popping off, talking about God this and God that, and never living a godly life. And even some of these guys, they still got a lot of work to do. But thankfully, God ain't done with them and done with us either. But the thing that I like about Schotty is family is a huge part of faith. God built the world on family. From the moment he finished creation, he topped it off with the greatest creation he ever made. And that was man. And then made woman from man for man. But let's go really deep into what God created to have dominion over the earth. A family. Families are important. Families are important. And when you build your family on your faith and your love for God, there are just so many things you can accomplish. We love Philippians 4, we can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens us. It is powerful when a person, because that's what actually helps you to have that real character. When your character is driven by a higher power. And so Schotty is just one of these people that, man, he's just a great human. He's just a great man. And he has a lot of faith. And he lives it in front of the people that he's trying to influence. And I'm telling you that when you live that stuff in front of folk consistently, It changes the people around you. It absolutely does. See, people don't understand. It's not, for me, for example, I'll give you a prime example. I'm never impressed when people give me things. But what impresses me is that when somebody cares enough about me to give me something. Those are the things that get to me. Because, that shows how a person sees you and values your character and all of those things. And so Schotty's just a great man. Nisa said, Jerry, you can't win if you don't respect your head coach and have him turning in his play sheet before the game. And you talked to game plan in the meeting. He said, I'm glad he's not doing that with Schotty. And again, Nisa, I just think it goes to the character of Schotty. Nisa, I think this is all about Schotty's character. See, when I trust you, then when you tell me stuff that I may have heard from other people, it hits different. It hits different when somebody with character that you trust and you value says something. It hits different. There is a reason why, if you haven't noticed, what the world tries to do, the devil did it from the beginning. Kill the messenger. I got to kill the messenger. Because everybody can give the same message. But when the right messenger gives the right message, the message comes across way clearer than just any messenger. And that's the difference with Brian Schottenheimer. Nisi, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm sure that some things that Brian Schottenheimer has told Jerry Jones, he's heard them before. I'm sure he's heard them before from people around him, people outside of the organization, everything. But when somebody somebody whose character is great, and you see them live the way that they should, they're consistent in everything they do, it changes you. Where you were not willing to listen to others, you're willing to listen to them. And that's the difference. I'm telling us, people don't understand. Character will get you places that talent can't get you. It will. It will. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I've tried to build my platform the way that I have, because there are people who know more football than me. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in football. I'm not the smartest guy out there. I'm not the greatest content creator out there. I'm not, probably a lot of the great anythings. But there is one thing that I do want to be the greatest at. I want to be the greatest man of God that God wants me to be. And I want to put that in everything that I do. That's the one thing I'm going to do. Serving God is something that I do well. And I try to put that in everything that I do. Because I know that when I put God first, it can't fail in the eyes of God. And if it don't fail in the eyes of God, then I know it's successful. And so character will get you places that talent can't get you. There are talented people. And they look at people and they say, how did he get that opportunity when I'm better than him? There are people that look at me and say they're better than me at football and breaking down sports and all. They think they're better than me. That's fine. But I'm not worried about you being better than me in football, because my issue is my character and how I present myself. And that's why I keep telling people, everybody always want to know, yeah, man, how do you be successful in this, and this? And the first thing they want to throw in your face is their talent. Man, let me tell you something about people a lot of times. People don't even care about your talent in the grand scheme of things sometimes. People are more concerned about your character. And that's why some people out there who could be some of the greatest content creators we ever seen before, they can't be that because they don't have the character. And they don't even, you can't even tell them that. They don't even see that. They don't have the character to reach the places that they're trying to reach. Character will get you places, I'm telling you. The talent won't get you. And this is what Brian Schottenheimer's done.
It was something that we're very humbled to be in this seat, but I think what's so cool is she and I have had a plan of what this would look like when we got this opportunity, and I think we're in the midst of implementing that plan.
Miss Gemmi, during the waiting.
Now, notice what he said. She and I had a plan, and we're in the midst of that plan. This is why I trust Brian Schottenheimer. This is why I trust him. Tell me anything you want to about Jerry Jones. I trust Brian Schottenheimer. And the reason why I trust Brian Schottenheimer, because he's a man of his word. If he told you he's going to do something, he's going to do it within his power. If he don't do it, trust me, he wasn't allowed to do it. That's the one thing we can say about Brian Schottenheimer. If he didn't do it, it's not because he's a liar. It's because he wasn't allowed to do it. He is a great man. And that's one of the most important things. You got to be a great man or a great woman before you be a great anything. Because if you are not a great man or a great woman before you do whatever it is that you become successful at, I got news for you. There's no floor under that thing. There is no floor. And that thing is going to come tumbling down. That's why so many of these people, they get to certain levels. And then once that character is exposed, it comes crumbling down.
Game between figuring out if Coach Brian was going to get the job or not. What was that kind of like for you and your family?
It was awful. I'm not going to lie. No, it was, it kind of came out of nowhere. So I think walking through that part of it, just sort of trying to grasp the idea of like, are we really going to stay here and do this? That was really the hardest part. I knew that if he got this job, that it was going to be, I knew what he would do with it. I think just the unknown and was definitely the hardest part for me. There was like a 2-week period that the kids and I literally did not leave each other's side because we kept thinking like, we were going to find out. We were going to, the call was going to come. And so we would go to the gym together. We'd go to the grocery store together. We'd do movies at night together. And it was like that waiting game was really, really, really hard. But I will say, for probably one of the first times in my life, I was really, really good with whatever the Lord had in store. Like, I can tell you that if it wasn't that and that he directed us in a different direction, I would have been okay. Because I knew that this was just this rare opportunity came along, and if it just wasn't meant to be, then it just wasn't meant to be. I always knew that whenever he got his chance, that he would, he would thrive and he would do incredible things like he's doing right now. But it was really tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was a trying time.
A lot of emotions.
For a little
Yeah,
bit.
a lot of emotions.
Yeah, a lot of emotions that came out. I think once we got the job, it was like, you don't quite know how to feel. Nervous, excited, scared, elated. Just everything.
How did you find out?
Actually, Jerry called me and told me. When Mr. Jones called me whenever, he was the one that actually told me. It was kind of a long story, but he was going to the final day where it was Friday, and we knew he was going to find out either way. So I was in Nashville. Sassy had some stuff going on. So I woke up Friday morning, and I was like, I have to get there today. Like, I have to get there. So I flew in, landed, got to our condo, and he was still kind of waiting to find out. And I think after 2 weeks, that was sort of my moment of like, I just needed to sort of like let out everything that had been inside of me. So I started to cry when I first saw him, and I kind of got in my head a little bit. And he's like, look, I can't do this right now. And
I said I could get a call at any moment from
like,
Jerry, and I can't deal with you.
And I said, I go, okay, I'm going shopping. So I got in the truck and went to Nordstrom. And
literally the minute she left, like, this is the way his plan works.
Yeah.
The phone rang and it was Jerry. So I called, or I texted her, I think, and I
said,
said,
I'm going to see
Jerry. I'll let you know.
Man, I love this story. I love this story. This is what I was telling y'all last week. And this is what I was telling y'all about patience. It don't matter if you're patient or impatient. You don't move the needle. None of us move the needle in the grand scheme of things of life. God moves the needle. And whatever God has for you, God has for you. The most impressive thing she said was that in her waiting, she came to the conclusion that if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's faith. Because God is in control. Doesn't mean you don't get the willies while you're waiting. It don't mean sometimes you don't get a little bit antsy or whatever the case may be. But you just have to be resolute in you can't control what's going to happen. And whatever God has for you, he has for you. So whether it happens or not, you're going to still be you. Oh, I love it. And the other thing that was impressive to me, and ladies in the house, y'all tell me what y'all think about this, ladies. This goes to tell you what kind of man that Jerry Jones is. Jerry Jones called Brian Schottenheimer's wife. That just goes to show you what kind of man he is. That's the kind of man he is. I love that. I love that. That's how you build families. Jerry's a very personable people too. He's a very personable person. He is. And we all know Jerry gets choked up sometimes when he's talking. He gets a little choked up. But man, Jerry, this whole story, it's absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And when you hear them tell this story, you just don't think you can think in your mind is God. That's the only thing you can think. It's the only thing you can think. It's just God, man.
I was like, I can't be in this mall. I can't do this. I was trying to just keep myself busy. So I got back in the car, and I've shared this story many times, but
share it again, sister.
I got back in the car, and there was a song, On Time God, that had been really like our mantra through this whole thing. It was like, he is just always on time. And so, sorry, he was going to be a point. I did this. I got in the truck, and all I knew to do was I wanted to be close to him and be able to pray. So I got in the truck, and I drove around this star probably about 15 or 20 times, just listening to On Time God over and over and over again. And I just was saying, Lord, if this is what you have in store for us, like, we will glorify you. Just, if this is it, just, I promise you that we will not disappoint you. And so I actually pulled back in the parking lot, and the phone rang, and it said Daddy Schottenheimer, and I picked it up thinking it was him, and I was like, hello, and he's like, and then Jerry was on the phone, and he's like, Gemmi, congratulations, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so then it just starts all these emotions.
And poor Sutton just landed. We hadn't talked,
After talking to Jerry, I did not talk to him until probably 3 or 4 hours later. After the celebration, he came home, and then we celebrated together with Sutton. But it was really beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Were you
wow. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Eric, folks, I'm sorry, but the media should be blowing this story, this podcast. People should be blowing this story up. They should be blowing this story up. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It just goes to show you, man, just how this thing is being built. Yeah, Niecy, Schotty, he's emotional too. Niecy, I bet they were all crying. Yeah, Ron Cooper, you can feel it, man. Yeah, it's and the thing is, for me, the reason why it feels different, and again, I know a lot of people keep talking about the X's and the O's and all those things. But again, I'm just telling y'all, there'll be plenty of time for us to talk about the X's and the O's, and we'll talk about that also, as we continue to talk about the Cowboys before Oxnard, California. But I'm telling y'all, that's not the part of this that's got me feeling different. It's this stuff. It's this stuff. When you start understanding what this man is doing inside of this Cowboys organization, and to hear his wife talk about God and God and God this and God that and Lord and this, I mean, I don't know. For me, that just clicks for me. That clicks for me because that's somebody who is saying that I'm led by God. I put God first in everything that I do. And so I just absolutely love how they're building this organization. And I said it last week and I'm going to say it again. They're building the mentality of this organization the right way. It's the mentality that they're building. And that's the part I'm impressed with. I'm impressed with the mentality. What's up, Aloysius? Said this team is built the right way. Leadership. This team will be ready, mark my word. Man, I'm telling you, I agree with you. I agree with you. Ice Cold, let me tell you something. You said expectations is at a high level this season. Ice Cold, and this is why you need the right mentality. The expectations for the Cowboys are so high that if your mentality is not right, Ice Cold, you're going to shatter. It's going to shatter. That's why he's trying to build this. Michael Lee said, beautiful story. I see now where Cowboys moving different because the supernatural changes is happening right before us. Yeah, man. We are watching some incredible stuff here. We really are. There will be blood. He said it just goes to show you that in the grand scheme of things, we all go through the same challenges no matter what race, creed, or color you are. Oh, man, you don't even want to get me started on that. There will be blood. That's why I get so upset, man, when I see people leading conversations with race and politics and preferences and all of this stuff. It just bothers me, man. I just don't think we realize, the real truth of what's happening in this life. What's going on, Lost in Translation? Yeah, Quinn, you says, in a hard time in your life, it's good to have a show like this. I appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, we've all, hey, let me tell you something, man. Shoot. Man, boy, following God, man, we were suffering well sometimes, brother. Trust me, any suffering that you're going through, man, trust me, I understand. It's tough sometimes, man. We were suffering well, but we have to. Jesus suffered, so shall we. Nisi said, we all will be crying if the Cowboys get to the NFC Championship game, and we will all fall out the second coming if we get to the Super Bowl. Shoot. Nisi, I'm telling you now, when Brian Schottenheimer wins the Super Bowl, there won't be a dry room. There won't be a dry eye in the room. Everybody's going to be crying when they win this Super Bowl with Brian Schottenheimer and Dak Prescott. There will not be a dry eye in the room when they win this Super Bowl. It's just not. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. Yeah, let's get dirty. He says, a positive and spirit-filled atmosphere. Yeah, man. That changes things, man. Changes things, man. It does. King Gresham, he loves shouting his story as much as the next person. He don't make the playoffs this year. I'm done. Nah, you ain't done, man. You ain't done, King Gresham. And I think you said that because you know they going to make the playoffs. I think you said that because you know they going to make the playoffs, bro. You ain't done. I think they making the playoffs, barring any kind of crazy injury. Ron Cooper said, getting emotional right now. He said, my father was on his deathbed. When he got enough strength to speak, first thing he asked was, did Dallas win? DCL for life, brother. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, Michael Lee, yeah, putting God first, anything is possible. I agree with you. Yeah, Ice Cold says, as long as he got Kool-Aid, he good. Yeah, Conflict, he said, we win a Super Bowl, you can book the Hall of Fame for these guys. Yeah, I'm telling you, Dak Prescott to be first ballot Hall of Famer. He just needs one because he's already got the numbers. Drew Brees got in on one Super Bowl, and I'm telling you right now, Dak's numbers are going to surpass Drew Brees. Dak Prescott's numbers are already incredible. If Dak Prescott had a Super Bowl right now, people would already be talking about Hall of Fame. Chef Pope, he said if we had the Super Bowl having the block party. Boy, you ain't... Yeah, King Grace, you know they making the playoffs, man. You know they making the playoffs. they gonna make the playoffs, boy. Because I'm telling you now, boy, my uncle said they making the playoffs. Boy, I'm telling you, King Grace, that's like saying they gonna win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Boy, he is so skeptical when it comes to the Cowboys, man. Oh, hey, there will be blood. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I was telling my wife the other day, we was over by the Cowboys shop. Oh, yeah, I'm getting that hat when the season starts. Don't you worry. JCT says, Shady laugh when Acho asked if Dak was clutch. He's annoying. Yeah, he know. Braves, he said, I've been listening to you for the past year. He said, I always enjoy listening to you in the chat. He said, I love the fact you're a preacher and in your YouTube channel, you incorporate God in your show. Man, I don't know any other way to do it, man. I don't know any other way to do it. Your dig said he teared up thinking about the Cowboys going to Super Bowl. Boy, you ain't lying, boy. Ooh, boy, you ain't lying. Mark Davis said, that's why I love this channel. He said, you give life experience sports the best of both worlds. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. God be the glory. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Lost in translation, he said, will this defense be built strong enough to keep up with the highest scoring offense this year? Man, let me tell you something, lost in translation. Everybody's saying just average. That's all everybody is saying. Average. I think they're going to be better than average by the end of the year. I think they're going to surpass average. I do. Braves Cowboys said, gee, my friend was on his deathbed a few years ago, and before he went home, I told him we were going to the Super Bowl. He said, you need to pick a different team. He said, jokes on here because we on our way. Yes, sir. I believe it. The Lord says, he said, I love the way you talk. If it don't start with God first, it won't happen. That's why I love how Gemmi's been talking, man. I love how he's been talking. All right, let's listen a little bit more of this. This is a long, lengthy podcast, and with me in here in between giving my different takes on things, we're going to probably have to split this up into about 3 or 4 parts. So let's listen to... We're going to listen to a couple of more. We'll listen to one more question, and then we're going to get into the rest of the show. Let's listen to one more question. So we're going to be highlighting the Twin Takes podcast here for the next 3 to 4 days. The next 3 to 4 days, we're going to keep listening to these guys. And y'all make sure, if you have not subscribed already, I'm going to put the link back in the description. After we listen to one more question and answer, we'll put that link in the description. Y'all make sure y'all go over there, subscribe, tell them Let's Talk Cowboys sent you, and we're gonna push this out there as far as we can. I'm actually gonna release an entire segment on the Twin Takes podcast and try to get this story out there about these young men.
Were you kind of at peace with whatever happened?
Yeah, you know.
All right, Cole, I can go 2 more questions if you want. You said 1 more question. I'll go 2 more questions.
It's a great question. I think, I think back on it. Of course, you're amped up, right? Like you're a competitor, right? You're competing to have one of the most high-profile jobs, if not the most profile professional sporting jobs in the world. And I really wanted it. I wanted it because of my relationship with Jerry. I wanted it because of the Joneses, Will McClay, Dak Prescott, a lot of our players. And but I think it was more that I felt prepared, and I was very confident that I was the best guy for the job because we had done so many great things on offense, and I knew kind of what I wanted to do, from the whole team aspect. But I'd be lying.
Note, we knew that he was going to remain with the team as the offensive coordinator if he wanted that. But he wanted to be the head coach of this football team.
So if you didn't get the head coaching job, do you think you would have, was that a done deal you were saying?
Yeah. So what we did is while they were going.
Thank you, Gemmi. Okay, hold on. She just broke some news on this. So breaking news on this. And some of you probably have already heard this. So breaking news, Schotty was still going to be with the Cowboys as the OC. Now, let's think about this part. In 2023, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb said it was Brian Schottenheimer who introduced all of the wrinkles into the Mike McCarthy offense. And even Mike McCarthy went on record and talked about this. So he introduced all of those wrinkles in that had that defense high flying, even with only CeeDee Lamb as the primary wide receiver. Brian Schottenheimer did that. So that goes to show you that Jerry Jones was impressed with his play calling. He was impressed with his play calling. And so I think that this was the best thing they could have done, because we know Jerry has done this before. We know that Jason Garrett was on the coaching staff of one Wilson. And I think it's a bad deal when you put an OC on the staff of a coach, knowing full well that that OC could possibly be the next coach. Why not just make him the coach? Why not just make him the coach? Just make him the coach. And I like, Gemmi, she breaking some, hey, he wants to be the head coach. Yeah, I like that. Go on, put the truth out there. Stay in the church. Yeah, he want to be the coach.
To the process, because there's a process, right? I wasn't sure, and there was a number of other teams, saying this very humbly, that were courting me and trying to say, hey, we want you to come be our coordinator. And so, after just talking it over with Steven and Jerry, is like, okay, well, while we figure this out and you guys go through the interview process, which there's a thorough interview process you have to go through, we had made an agreement that I would stay here no matter what. And I didn't want to leave the things, but like she said, I really wanted to be the head coach and put our...
Wow, there it is again. There was an agreement already in place that he was going to stay and be the coach. Didn't know that part. That's new to me. I don't know about y'all. That's new to me. This is awesome that this is being brought out. It's the first time I've heard this. This is the first time I heard this. Schotty was actually going to be the OC and call the plays, which I believe would have been a mistake. And the reason it would have been a mistake is because Schotty wanted to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That would have been a mistake. And watch this, Nisi. Let me capitalize on what you said and tell you and us why, and I think y'all understand this, why this would have been a mistake. Because this is why I believe Mike McCarthy felt some type of way about Kellen Moore. This is why Mike McCarthy felt some kind of way about who? Dan Quinn.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy felt threatened every which way but loose. And it didn't help that Amari Cooper was questioning him on why this and why that. A lot of people don't realize Mike McCarthy was a very insecure coach, but in some respects, for a good reason. Because Jerry Jones notoriously sometimes will put the next coach on the staff of the coach that if he don't win, he's out. Yeah, Jerry will do that sometimes. Now, I don't necessarily believe this, but I know there are some others that believe this. And now when we think about it, maybe this was a problem. Y'all ready for this? Maybe Matt Eberflus had visions of sugar plums dancing in his head that maybe he was going to be the next head coach. Yeah. Maybe that's why Matt Eberflus is up in here running around like his dookie didn't stink. Yeah, we're gonna run zone 96% of the time. What? run zone 96% of the time. Oh! What team does that? Oh, Matt Eberflus, because he thought, yeah, you know what? I'm Jerry's man. Yeah, I'm Jerry man. Jerry brought me in. Yeah, Jerry hired me. Yeah, you better watch out. Jerry hired me. Yeah, I bought my whole staff. You better, yeah, Jerry hired me. I wonder if Matt Eberflus thought he was going to be the next coach. It would have been a mistake to keep Brian Schottenheimer on staff, knowing he wanted to be the doggone head coach of the team. It would have been a mistake to bring in another coach, knowing he wanted to be the coach. I mean, you really put somebody in a bad situation like that. No. Don't bring me somebody who wants to be the head coach. Bring me somebody that wants to be a head coach. Bring me somebody that wants to be a head coach. So, Country Field, I'm glad you asked that question. Christian Parker, he don't want to be the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I promise you he don't. Christian Parker didn't take this job wanting to be the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But I can tell you this, Christian Parker took this job knowing that because of the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, he's going to be a head coach. That's a huge difference. See, that's a huge difference. See, Christian Parker ain't here to be the next anything. Christian Parker is here to build his own legacy without even talking to Christian Parker. The way this man carries himself, you already know. Christian Parker ain't thinking about being no coach of the Cowboys. Christian Parker is going to be a coach in this doggone league, especially once this team wins the Super Bowl. Man, let me tell y'all something. Christian Parker gets this team to the playoffs, or this defense is average or a little bit better, and this team go to the playoffs. Mark my words, you will hear rumors as soon as the season is over. There will be rumors of teams saying, we want Christian Parker to be the next coach. Book it. Book it. Book it. Christian Parker take this team to a little bit better than average. The rumors are going to start. Yeah, Christian Parker don't want to be the coach of the Cowboys. He knows that he's going to be a coach because of the coach of the Cowboys. Yeah, he's going to be a coach. You watch what I tell you. Yeah, he's going to be a coach. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Country Field, let me tell you something. Schotty ain't got no choice but to improve. Schotty is built the right way. He's doing things the right way. He went and got himself a good defense coordinator. Schotty is smart, Country Field. Because Christian Parker's success is going to be predicated on the team's success. Christian Parker can't be successful without Brian Schottenheimer being successful. And Brian Schottenheimer has an ace up his sleeve as it applies to being successful. And that ace up his sleeve is Rain Dakota Prescott. As long as Dak Prescott is healthy, Schotty has nothing to worry about. As long as Dak Prescott is healthy, he has nothing to worry about. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, and he knows it. Man, let me tell you something. I don't know about y'all, but just think about this. Could you imagine your first head coaching gig for any team, and this is your offense? Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Javonte Williams, Jake Ferguson, Cavonte Turpin, Ryan Flanoy, Cooper Beebe, Ty Booker, Ty Smith, even Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele in the grand scheme of things. You're going to be the OC, and this is your first year coaching, and that's your offense? Man, you just cut building this team in half because the offense is basically already built. All we have to do is put together a defense. And that's why Schotty, man, let me tell you something. Schotty will improve just based on what's been done so far. You got to think about it. His first season was 7-9-1. Schotty wins two more games, maybe even 3. He wins 2 to 3 more games, he's going to be in the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. He'll make the playoffs. Nisi said the team as a whole needs to show up in the playoffs, stay focused. Nisi, what we're preparing for is the playoffs. I agree with you. What we are preparing for is the playoffs. Because Nisi, I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it 2 weeks ago. Regular season means nothing for Dak Prescott no more. And I think Dak Prescott knows it. He's been saying this type of stuff. Regular season means nothing to Dak Prescott. We've seen Dak Prescott multiple winning seasons in the regular season. We've seen it. For the last 3 to 4 years of Dak Prescott's career, he needs to do 2 things. Well, actually, let's say 3 things. These are the 3 things that Dak Prescott needs to do going forward. Because these are the only 3 things that will matter for Dak Prescott going forward. 1, stay healthy. That is the number 1 thing. Dak Prescott has to stay healthy. For the last 3 to 4 years of his career, he needs to take care of his body, start doing, I don't know, whatever Tom Brady was doing, TP12, eating avocado ice cream and drinking guava juice, mango, whatever you got to do. For the last 3 to 4 years of Dak Prescott's career, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to do every single thing he can do to stay healthy. Because if he stays healthy, he can do the other 2 things. Number 2, for the next 3 seasons, Dak Prescott has to live in the playoffs. For the next 3 to 4 seasons, he must live in the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys, from this point forward, cannot be at home during the playoffs again. No more. Dak Prescott cannot be at home again come playoff time. And I'm telling you, Dak Prescott will tell you the same thing. Number 3, he must win a Super Bowl. There is no option. There's no alternative. Dak Prescott must win a Super Bowl. He must. And the reason why he must, and I know, hey man, that don't say you were not a good quarterback. Dan Marino, great quarterback. Got to 1, didn't win it. Dan Fouts, great quarterback, didn't win it. There have been great quarterbacks that have not won it. We can go down the line of great quarterbacks. But Dak Prescott isn't every other quarterback. Dak Prescott's story must end a certain way. It must end, or at least in my eyes, it must end a certain way. Dak Prescott has endured too much adversity. He has endured adversity. Deaths in the family. Criticism in the league. Overcome Tony Romo being 4th on the depth chart. Starting quarterback of the Cowboys, and everybody says he's going to be a backup. Had his ankle turned around backwards. Cataclysmic injury. Hamstring torn from the bone. And yet he has battled back from all of these things. And now he is seeing the game better than he's ever seen it. And he's endured in this league longer than anybody ever expected. He is going into, I believe, season number 11 of being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. And he is one of the best quarterbacks the Dallas Cowboys have ever had. Leadership, statistics, you name it. It must culminate into a Super Bowl. It must. He's been through too much. He's accomplished too much. He's been through too much for it not to culminate into a Super Bowl. And here we are watching now in year 11 of Dak Prescott's career. And now we are watching the Dallas Cowboys finally put a team around him. They should have did it in 2016. They should have went for broke in 2016. When they went and they were the number 1 seed in 2016 in Dak Prescott's rookie career, they should have went all in then. They should have called in the cavalry. They should have just, hey, man, this dude is way better than anybody ever thought. Man, let's just load this team up. And let's give Jason Garrett any of the support that he needs to win the Super Bowl. Should have did it then. But hey, you know what? God's timing, not mine, not ours. The timing seems right now. You got the right coach. You got the right culture. You got the front office in the right mindset. You're making the right moves, free agency. You're making the right moves in the draft. You've created a competitive atmosphere, a family. You've done all these things. It has to culminate into a Super Bowl for Dak Prescott. It has to culminate into a Super Bowl for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott can't finish like Tony Romo. Dak Prescott can't finish like Danny White. Dak Prescott must get a Super Bowl. He must. He's got to do it for the fans. He's got to do it for all of y'all. I've seen the Cowboys win Super Bowls, but some of y'all haven't seen the Cowboys win Super Bowls. It is time for the Dallas Cowboys. It seems like the timing is right. Even when we listen to with Brian Schottenheimer, it seems like the time is right and the time is now for the Cowboys to strike while the iron is hot, and Dak Prescott's career must end in a Super Bowl. It must. It must. He's too great of a human being. Brian Schottenheimer is too great of a human being. What they are building is absolutely great. It must end in a Super Bowl. Absolutely. Absolutely. Had to stop right there, getting a little emotional. But it must end in a Super Bowl. And there are not many people, because saying things that people, it's tough sometimes when you say that people deserve certain things. But if there's ever been a person that I could say deserves a Super Bowl, next there's been 2 quarterbacks with the Dallas Cowboys. Danny White, number 1. And now Dak Prescott, number 2. He deserves a Super Bowl. He's been through so much. Contracts, you name it. He's been through so much. All right, guys. Let's get to it. It's time to have a little bit of fun now. So let's turn over here to ESPN.
Here we go.
So the ESPN has come out with its rankings for all of the teams. It's come out for the rankings for all of the teams in the NFL. And so I want you to see, where does ESPN rank the Cowboys? And not just the Cowboys. I'm always interested in the NFC East in particular, but I also I want to look at a couple of other teams to see where they rank versus the Cowboys, because I believe that these teams are going to be a problem for the Dallas Cowboys coming up. They're going to be a problem for the Dallas Cowboys coming up this season. But the NFL ranking 2026 NFL rosters, best projected starting lineups.
Yes! Here we go.
All right, let's see what we're rocking with here now. So before we get to our Dallas Cowboys, there are two teams, and there are actually three teams, but one of them is in our division. There are two teams that I'm going to be concerned with for the rest of this show as we talk about rankings. And those two other teams outside of the NFC East, they are none other than the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. The Los Angeles Rams are projected to have the best starting lineup in football. And I believe what has changed their mind, of course we all know, is none other than Myles Garrett. Says here quarterback is their biggest strength. Some may argue that it's Myles Garrett. It's tough to pick one strength as edge rusher, cornerback, wide receiver, and both lines are strong points on the league's clear-cut best roster. Of course, the Rams Super Bowl chances hinge most on the health and continued strong play of reigning NFL MVP Matthew Stafford. He's 38 years old. He dominated in 2025, pacing the NFL in both yards, 4,707, and passing touchdowns, 46, while finishing fourth in QBR with the league's best roster around him. Stafford is set up for another elite season. First-round rookie Ty Simpson is his new backup. I don't know why they mentioned that, because we probably not going to see Ty Simpson for at least 3 seasons. I don't know why they mentioned that. Biggest weakness, tight end. None might be the best answer, but I'll pick a position that has a lot of depth but no clear number one option. Tyler Higbee is 33 years old and no longer an every down player that has allowed more work for veterans Kobe Parkinson and Darvis Allen. Says there is some upside here in the form of recent second-round picks Terrence Ferguson and Max Clare. A year 2 breakout from Ferguson could quickly make this another strength area. X factor, okay, the health of Davante Adams, and of course, Puka Nacua. So we'll see what happens there. Non-starter to know, edge rusher Josiah Stewart. Myles Garrett must come off the field occasionally, right? A 2025 third-round pick, Stewart had 3 sacks and an impressive 17.6% pass rush rate, win rate as a rookie. He has a high motor, but can also drop into coverage when necessary. Let's go to our second team. And actually the second team for me is the Seattle Seahawks. So we'll flip back up to the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the other team I'm a little bit concerned with. It is the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, they had a pretty good draft, done some things in free agency, signed some contracts, lost some people too though. Biggest strength, interior defensive line, I would have to agree. The defending champs allowed a league low 17.2 points per game. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Could y'all imagine if we could hold every team below 18 points? Well, going to the Super Bowl with this offense. Says they remain stacked up front with Leonard Williams, 18 sacks over the past 2 seasons, leading the way and still playing at a high level. At age 32, Byron Murphy II, fourth amongst linemen, 7 sacks. Made a big year 2 leap, and Jerron Reed remains a quality rotational player. Biggest weaknesses, lost Kenneth Walker III. Zach Charbonnet towards ACL in January, leaving the Seattle Seahawks backfield with much different look in 2026. Rookie Jadarian Price is going to have to, I guess, take up the slack. Holdovers, George Halani and Kenny McIntosh. Journeyman Emmanuel Wilson will battle for work until Charbonnet returns. X Factor wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. Shaheed delivered a kick return touchdown in the playoffs. His receiving production after he was traded to Seattle was lower than expected. So I guess they're depending on him. Number 2 option, non-starter to know, edge rusher Derek Hall. See, Hall played 37% of the defensive snaps in 2025. 2 sacks in the regular season. Had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl and a forced fumble to get the victory over the Patriots. He also had a strong 15.3% pass rush win rate off the edge. So those are the two teams in the NFC I'm worried about outside of our division. Now let's go to the NFC East. Now when we go to the NFC East, Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles, they say, still have a real good roster. Biggest strength, offensive tackle. Okay. Talking about Lane Johnson. Eagles have many strengths, especially on defense, but it's tough to beat arguably the NFL's top tackle duo, Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson. Now, my biggest issue with the Philadelphia Eagles is I think Saquon Barkley is on the decline. I think he's got one foot out of the NFL. Once you start mentioning retirement, which he mentioned, you're already retired. He didn't run good last year, if you ask me. But again, says Johnson, 36 years old, missed time due to injury last season, but he continues to play at a high level. 36, okay, I see. Biggest weapons, safety, Reed Blankenship, signed with the Houston Texans. Which position, second-year man Andrew Mukuba, who missed half his rookie season with a broken ankle, and Marcus Epps as the team's top full-time options. Cooper DeJean will also get a run at safety, but his role as the team's primary slot corner will keep him occupied most of the time. X Factor cornerback Rick Woolen says he's a Rick Woolen believer, so he's looking forward to him playing this year. Non-starter wide receiver Hollywood Brown. He's not going to start, but the 2019 first rounder is going to play a role in the Eagles offense. We're going to see Devontae Smith is going to be their number one wide receiver. We're going to see how that plays out. I'll be honest with you. For some reason, I'm not as worried about the Philadelphia Eagles this year. I'm not as worried about the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not worried. So the next team, let's go up here to the top. Let's look at where do they have the New York Giants ranked. Philadelphia Eagles are ranked number 2, which definitely puts them in front of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go to the New York Giants. You got the New York Giants at number 23. Spot right. You got a lot of questions to answer. Biggest strength, edge rusher. Got a very good defensive line, at least they did. They lost them for those guys. Brian Burns is the headliner after finishing second only to Myles Garrett with 16.5 sacks. Abdul Carter was as advertised as a rookie, finishing 7th in the NFL with 53 pass rush wins. Kayvon Thibodeau's production was down with the addition of Carter, but he is as good as you'll find for a third edge rusher. Number 5, Orville Reese. He's out of their biggest weakness, defensive tackle. New York is doing its best to patch up his position after trading away superstar Dexter Lawrence II. So we're going to see how that goes. Roy Robertson already tore his Achilles, leaving DJ Reader, Shelby Harris as potential starters. X Factor, and I think this is a big deal. Malik Neighbors' health is in question. Yeah, I don't think he's going to play versus the Cowboys. We'll see, though. Non-starter to know, Alexander, 3rd-round pick, likely to be the 3rd defensive lineman, blah, blah, blah. So they have the New York Giants behind the Dallas Cowboys. All right. Let's go and see, where do they have the Washington Commanders ranked? Washington. They have them at 21. Sounds about right. Biggest strength, quarterback. You know, actually, that's not a surprise. Because outside of Jaden Daniels, what does the Washington what does the Washington Commanders really have? Their whole season is hinging on Jaden Daniels. And I think this is going to be the undoing of one Dan Quinn. He ran him in the ground the first season. ran him in the ground again the second season, got injured, season was terrible. Marcus Mariota's the backup. Dan Quinn's entire season hinges on Jaden Daniels. I'm not sure about them. But their roster is ranked number 21. Says biggest weakness is cornerback. No doubt about it. Allowed a league hot 384 yards per game. Wow. So somebody was worse than the Cowboys in something. Wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware of that. It says the Commanders will be hoping for a better season from somebody named Mike Sanresteel and a year 2 leap from 2025 second round pick Trey Amos. So we'll see how that goes. X Factor, all defensive additions, including Odafe Owe, Clavon Kyson, linebacker Sonny Styles, which I think he's going to be good for him. Safety Nick Cross and Robinson. That's their X Factors. Non-starter to know. Wide receiver De'Ami Brown. Also, another X Factor may be for them, at least if you ask him, it's Brandon Ayuk. If you let Brandon Ayuk tell it, every week Brandon Ayuk said he going to the Washington Commanders. Every single week. I don't know what he's talking about, but he's saying that he is going to be with the Washington Commanders. And I think somebody forgot to inform the Washington Commanders, and somebody forgot to inform Brandon Ayuk with the way that he's acting. He's not going to be playing for anybody. He's not even going to be playing in the UFL at this point. That brother needs some help, man. That brother needs some serious help. Greg, I totally agree with you. They're setting the expectations way too high for the Eagles team. I believe they're on the decline, Greg. And I'm blown away that they're talking about a 36-year-old offensive lineman like he's 26, like he's Ty Booker. I don't know what they're talking about. All right, let's finally look at our Dallas Cowboys. And what did they have to say about the Dallas Cowboys? Where do they, and I already know where they have us ranked. But in case y'all haven't seen it, this is where they have the Dallas Cowboys ranked. The Dallas Cowboys, in one season, they're saying the Cowboys have the 14th best roster. Wow. 14th? Let me tell you something. Dallas Cowboy fans, I've read this to you before. And I think they're hitting on something. I've said this. Look at this projected starting offense. Dak Prescott, Javonte Williams, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Ryan Flanoy, Jake Ferguson, Schoonmaker. I don't believe that. I say Michael Trigg, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Ty Booker, Terrence Steele. That's heavy. That's heavy. You figure in Trigg, a little bit of Brevin Spanford, Javonte Williams, sprinkle in some Phil Maffa, Jaden Blue, sprinkled all that in. I think you're talking about a high-powered offense again. Look at the defense. Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, Ezraku, the very underestimated Rashawn Gary, Overshown, one of the best in the business if he stays healthy. D. Winters, who is emerging as one of these really good linebackers in the league. Deron Bland, we're gonna see if he changed the shoes. Kobe Durant, Savon Revel Jr., Jalen Thompson, Caleb Downs, Malik Hooker. And I'll tell you, man, we may arguably have one of the best safety rooms in the league. I believe our safeties, we may have the best safety room in the league, if not top 5. It's one of the most improved rooms on the Dallas Cowboys. Wide receiver last year, safeties this year. Absolutely incredible. It's great, man. Thoughts on Dallas Cowboys team got a roster. And we're not even mentioning the rookies. I'm going to mention them. I mean, Malachi Lawrence, Jayshawn Barham, Those guys are going to play. They're not sitting on the bench. Devin Moore is going to play. LT Overton is going to play. They're not going to be sitting on the bench. We got a lot of these players the Cowboys got in the draft. They're going to be playing. Not to mention Otito Ogbonnia. Guys like Jonathan Bullard. Man, let me tell you something. Cowboys got a squad. There's no doubt about it. Biggest strength. Wide receiver. Let me tell you something. I don't believe this. I don't believe this is the biggest strength of this team. This team has got a lot of groups that you can say they're the biggest strength. I think your quarterback is your biggest strength. I believe your quarterback is your biggest strength. You got an 11-year savvy veteran who has absolutely seen it all. I think it's Rain Dakota Prescott. And I believe number one, he's had to stay healthy. As long as Dak stay healthy, they're going to be hard to beat. They're going to be hard to beat. I think they can weather a lot of things. As long as Dak stays healthy, they can weather everything else. Because, he says, Siobhan Revel, the next Richard Sherman Cowboys. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Yeah, Merle Ray, I agree with you. LT Overton is going to be a stud like Clyde Simmons. Yeah, I think he's going to be good, man. I'm loving it. Wide receiver, they said, is the biggest strength of the Cowboys. Similar to last year. We'll focus on a wide receiver room that helped the Dallas Cowboys lead the NFL in passing in 2025. Starts with CeeDee Lamb, who despite missing 5 games over the past 2 seasons, has delivered 1,000 plus receiving yards in 5 consecutive seasons. The constant professional. Since entering the league in 2020, Lamb sits in the top 5 in receptions and receiving yards. George Pickens is fresh off a breakout 2025 season, his first in Dallas, in which he finished no lower than 7th among wide receivers in catches, receiving yardage, touchdowns, and yards per target. Ryan Flanoy in the versatile Javonte Turpin add depth, and Michael Trigg, Brevin Spanford in the run game. Cowboys got weapons. Biggest weakness, and a lot of you all have been expressing this. Their biggest weakness, they said, is cornerback, which is probably about right. Dallas doesn't have many major problem areas, so any unproven cornerback room is the biggest red flag. This area must be better after the Cowboys finished last in defensive EPA, allowed 58.4 QBR, 29th in the league, and generated only 6 interceptions in 2025. DeRon Bland battled injuries in 2025, but remains the clear star of this group. Ex-Rams, Kobe Durant, and Darian Kendrick were added this offseason. And I'm telling you, I think people are sleeping on Darian Kendrick. And will battle second-year man, Siobhan Revel Jr. He's going to be on the field. He's the future of the cornerback room. 4th round rookie Devin Moore and others for starting roles. Yeah, it's going to be great. X Factor. Caleb Downs, he is one of the X Factors for the Cowboys. I agree. Absolutely agree. Cowboys need defensive playmaking to come from nowhere. Oh, I'm sorry, nowhere, somewhere. Perhaps Donovan Ezra-Rocco or Malachi Lawrence can deliver pressure from the edge. Again, Rashawn Gary being disrespected. Maybe Bland can haul in a bunch of interceptions again. But if there's going to be a long-term positive change to this defense, it could be from Downs, for whom the Cowboys traded up to select at number 11. If he can help make the Cowboys simply an average defense, watch out. Non-starter to know. They said Javonte Turpin. I say Michael Trigg is the non-starter to know. That's who I say. Michael Trigg. I believe Dak Prescott's going to turn this man into a superstar. Absolutely. And so, that is where they have the Dallas Cowboys ranked. I'm going to be honest with you, Cowboys fans. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not really mad at number 14. I'm not really mad at 14. I mean, we're talking about red now. Let's see what happens after Oxnard, California. Because if you're telling me the Cowboys have the 14th ranked roster, then surely the defense can be mid-pack. Surely. Surely your defense can be mid-pack. Would y'all not agree? I mean, you have the 14th ranked roster. At least that's according to ESPN. I mean, talking about ESPN here. I mean, talking about before we get it on the field. Yeah, T-Tex has been, Gary getting no respect, bro. This man getting no respect like Rodney Dangerfield, bro. This man getting no respect. Frank Lawrence said Michael Trigg like George Pickens' skills and tight end body. Yeah, I agree with you. He plays in the slot like a big wide receiver. Once he makes the catch, it takes multiple players to tackle Trigg. Yeah, I think he's going to be one of these X factors, man, as time goes on. Jeremy Best said, I really don't know how people are underestimating and undervalue Big Quentin Williams. I don't understand this dude is top 3 defensive tackle in the league with this scheme and cast the players dude finna dominate. I think so too. Yeah, Lonnie said he ain't mad at 14 either. I'm not, man. I ain't mad at 14. Shoot, Robert Dudley, it better be the Dak Prescott season. Yeah. I think Dak is about to flourish, man. I mean, Dak already showed out last year. But once you get him that defense, watch how much better they look. Watch how much better they look. Merle Ray, he said, I think the Cowboys defense is going to be much improved. I agree. Because if you're telling me that roster's ranked number 14, the defense is well improved. Quentin Scott said 14th, good number. Stats show teams ranked this slot reach conference championship game. Reached the conference championship game. 3 teams were ranked at this spot. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, that's saying something, Quentin Scott. I think 14 is a great number because that's saying that you are actually pretty dang on good. Gregory Hicks said they was being generous, in my opinion. Our defense was that bad. Yeah, that means we are much improved. All right. So now we got another ranking. We got the running back ranking. ESPN pretty busy right now, man. Dallas Cowboys been so quiet, Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys been so quiet, man. ESPN, man, ESPN having to put in some work, man. They having to put in some work. And the good thing is, they ain't hating on our beloved Dallas Cowboys. I think they're drinking a lot of the Kool-Aid too. All right, so these are the NFL. Let me see here. These are the running back rankings. Execs, coaches, and scouts. Let's get on over here.
Here we go.
Execs, coaches, scouts rank top NFL running backs for 2026. Mr. Jeremy Fowler wrote this article. All right, let's put a little marker on here and let's get this one going. What do y'all think, Javonte? Anybody who hasn't seen this, because I know some of y'all have seen it. Anybody who hasn't seen this, where do you think Javonte Williams ranks? Where do you think Javonte Williams ranks amongst the running backs for 2026? Says the 2026 NFL training camps are on the horizon. And with that in mind, ESPN surveyed league executives, coaches, scouts to help us rank the top 10 players at 11 different positions. This is the 7th edition of these annual ratings. It says here's how it works. Voters gave their own top 10 players at a position. Then we compile the results and rank candidates based on the number of top 10 votes. Composition averaging dozens of interviews with research and film study. Help from ESPN analyst Matt Bowen, as well as ESPN research. More than 70 voters submitted a ballot on at least one position, and in many cases, all positions. Additional voting and follow-up calls with those surveyed contributed to placements. This was not a 5-year projection or career achievement award, but meant to answer a simple question. Who are the best players right now? Finiswick says he thinks he's going to be ranked number 3. All right, let's see. Number 3. Hold on, let's read a little bit more here. It says, 3 years ago, star running backs met over video conference to discuss the depressed state of their positional market. Their prospects have since improved. From 2024 to 2025, Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley signed respective deals worth $19 and $20.6 million per year. This offseason, 3 more backs earned contracts between $14 million and $16 million, and a pair of 24-year-old stars, Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs, will reset that market soon enough while they battle for ball-toting supremacy for years to come. A mix of talented young and veteran stars around the league are strengthening their teams. Chances in a big way due to their versatility. I think the wide receiver prices have gotten so crazy, the teams are warming up to the fact that you can get a super talented back with pass catching ability instead. An AFC executive said paying $17 or $18 million a year for a guy like that doesn't sound so bad anymore. Wow. Hadn't heard that. Hadn't heard that. Maybe there's more value in paying a running back $17, $18 million who can catch rather than paying $40 million for wide receivers. It's going to be interesting next year. It says many of the top guys have preserved their spot as they approach or surpass the age of 30. But this year's list features 2 debuts and 1 player we featured in 2024. All right. Number 1, Bijan Robinson. We're not surprised. Lowest ranking, number 2. Bijan Robinson is great. Number 2, Jahmyr Gibbs. Let me read a little bit more. Lowest rankings, number 8. Last year, he was ranked number 3. Saquon Barkley, number 3. I think Saquon Barkley's on the decline. Christian McCaffrey, number 4. I believe Christian McCaffrey could actually be number 1 if he could stay healthy. Christian McCaffrey can't stay healthy. I mean, when he's healthy, there's nobody better. But your best ability is availability. I can see number 4. Jonathan Taylor, number 5. Yeah, he's really good. Derrick Henry, number 6. Really good also. 32, playing like 22 sometimes. James Cook, number 7. Would I consider him to be better? Okay, I'm struggling with that one. Devon Akani or whatever his name is for the Miami Dolphins. Let's see. 4,300 yards in 3 seasons. Number 8. Okay. Kenneth Walker III, number 9. I can see him somewhere in here. Played really well last year. Breece Hall, number 10. I can see Breece Hall being number 10. Now, I'll be honest with you. I might take Javonte Williams higher than some of these running backs. Y'all tell me what you think. I might take Javonte Williams higher than some of these running backs. Jared Jones, you're the owner of the Cowboys. You can't be saying 6 wins. Yeah, Veron Cooper. Yeah, Bear Sanders, probably one of the best pure runners I ever seen. Didn't hoist the Lombardi trophy. You're exactly right. Derek Giles said no one thought Javonte would be good with us. Yeah. Changing their minds now. Yeah. So Javonte Williams is not in the top 10, which I think he should be when you mention those. If I'm not mistaken, Javonte Williams is actually ranked number 14. 14? Wow. Honorable mention, Josh Jacobs, Kyren Williams, Quinshon Judkins. What? And no Javonte Williams? Now, I'm going to tell you why Javonte might not be there. Let's go back and highlight a comment they made. I would put him in the top 10. But let's go back and highlight a comment that they made. And this is the only thing that could justify Javonte Williams not being in the top 10. Let's go back and highlight this. It's this comment right here. Can y'all see that? I think the wide receiver prices have gotten so crazy that teams are warming up to the fact you can get a talented back with what? Pass catching ability. That may be the holdup. If you think about the way Brian Schottenheimer used Javonte Williams, he used him as a battering ram. No screen game, no pitches, not a lot out of the backfield. Javonte Williams, pure workhorse between the tackles. Pure workhorse between the tackles. If we're being honest, nothing outside of it. That may be why all of these people who were involved in this didn't put him in the top 10. That would be the reason. If I could pick a reason, that would be the reason. But again, Dallas Cowboy fans, don't fret. I would much prefer what I believe the Cowboys are about to do now. I would much prefer the Cowboys start approaching this as Javonte is going to be the bell cow back, but we have these other two running backs that they're going to bring some versatility. Jaden Blue, Swiss Army knife. Kickoff returns, punt returns. In the backfield, between the tackles, outside the tackles. Line him up in the slot. Run him down the field for a fly route on a linebacker or a safety. Jaden Blue, in that respect. Phil Maffa, more of what Javonte Williams is, with a little bit more wiggle and a little bit further outside of the A gap, and maybe a few other things too. I'm good with what Javonte Williams does, as long as they can get these other two backs acclimated. I'm good. I'm not tripping on it. Man, Javonte Williams between the tackles behind Ty Smith, Cooper BB, and Ty Booker, shoot, forced to be reckoned with. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Oh, yeah, and Merle Ray, Hunter Lipke. Figure out how to use Hunter Lipke. Yes. Yeah, Gene Ward, they're going to have to rethink. And again, I think Phil Maffa is going to be that piece. Yeah, Cabal. Yeah, Brees Hall. Yeah. I was struggling with a couple of those there at the end. All right. Let's go to our next topic. Oh, this one right here. Yes, here we go. This is my first time actually kind of watching this. It's the Mina Kimes Power Hour, where she is about to rank kind of these teams, I guess, Super Bowl chances or whatever case may be. So this is going to be very interesting. Michael Lee said, good catch, G, but we're about to run by committee. I'm good. And again, and I don't know so much about committee. I just think we're going to have 3 running backs doing the job of 1. And if we want to call a committee, we can, Michael Lee. Sometimes, we make that into a bad word. It's not a bad word if you're using the committee right. Phil Maffa, I believe, Merrill Ray. I believe Phil Maffa is going to be his relief between the tackles. Jaden Blue is going to be with those two running backs or not. I believe he will be the pitches, the sweeps, the screen game, lining them up in the slot, like similar to some of the things they did in Texas. I think he'll be there. Tyron Cooper, he said he need to put Javonte in some church shoes. Said he'll be like the Holy Ghost coming out that backfield. He's fine. I think it's the other two running backs they got to work on, Vron. I think it's the other two. And again, I think Phil will be the Javonte number 2, and Jaden's going to be that more swift back. JCT says Mina Kimes knows the truth. She's not a hater like Shady as much. Yeah. Frank Lawrence said, I'm waiting to see how Jeremiah Love reacts to playing on the losing Cardinals. Jadavion Price caught a better situation with Seattle. I agree. Yeah, Merrill Ray, I've been thinking about that too. I think I'm going to try to track down Maffa's tape, and we're going to try to watch, we'll probably watch some of Maffa's tape next week. I think we'll watch some of Maffa's tape next week, man. Maffa is a monster, man. All right.
Here we go.
Let's get to this Mina Kimes story. Mina Kimes, Hour of Power. I guess that's what she called it, or Power Hour, or something to that effect. Mina Kimes and Ryan Clark talking about this year's NFL season. And we're going to watch the part about the Cowboys. But I'll be honest with you, very interested in what they have to say about the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Eagles. Because I think those are the only 3 teams that are going to stand in the way of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, we got to see it on the field. But if all things go the way they're supposed to go, and this Cowboys defense is average and a little bit better than average by the time the end of the season gets here, I only see 3 teams standing in the way of the Cowboys. I see the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Eagles. And I believe the Cowboys are already better than the Eagles. I only see 2 teams standing in the way of the Cowboys. I don't see Green Bay. I think they've declined on defense already. I don't see Green Bay. I don't see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't see teams like that. I'm only seeing 2 teams. Rams, Seahawks. I don't see Philly. I think they're on the decline. I think people are hyping up the Philadelphia Eagles way too much. Way too much. Frank said, every time I see Derrick Henry name on the high leaderboard, it makes me sick that Jerry decided to pass on signing him in 2024. Man, I know. He would have been great. But again, let's think about this. It's called the butterfly effect. Man, if we'd have got Derrick Henry, who knows the which way we would have went. I think at this point, everything is going the way it should have went. I think it's going the way it should have went. So we're going to see. Robert Dudley said the new up and coming on the scene. Yeah. Yeah, Michael Lee. Yep, if they all can play a role, it'd be nice. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, all right. This is Mina Kimes. Let's go. Featuring Lenny, huh? Must be a dog.
Welcome back to the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny. This is the very first Power Hour pod of the 2026 offseason. Longtime listeners to the show know we do this every year now. I do a ranking of the entire NFL. We go team by team. I give my guests 2 choices for every slot. And speaking of guests, I'm having on a repeat, one of my favorite people at ESPN in the world, perhaps. One of the hosts of the Pivot podcast, also my fellow cast member on NFL Live, Ryan Clark. Welcome back to the show.
What's up, my girl? Let's get it. I'm excited.
Is this the first time you've thought about the Dolphins in 2026?
Hey, the first time, unless you're texting over something really smart in the group chat about decisions they made, this is definitely the first time I've thought about it.
All right. So just to remind folks again, I give Ryan 2 choices for every spot. And then the team that he doesn't choose becomes immediately a choice the next time around. But I bring in another competitor.
I'm going to tell you something, Quentin Scott. As much as I like Kyle Shanahan, I don't see the 49ers the same. They're on the decline. I don't think the 49ers can truly beat good teams. And I mean really good teams. I think they're going to struggle beating really, really good teams. And I believe the Cowboys have the potential to, by the time the playoffs roll around, I'm not worried about the regular season. I got a feeling the Cowboys are going to beat them in the regular season because they're playing them in Dallas. I just think we're going to beat them. But by the time the playoffs roll around, the Cowboys are really rolling. I don't think a team like the 49ers have enough to deal with the Cowboys. I don't think they have enough to deal with the Dallas Cowboys at this point in time. Again, I only see two teams. That's just me. I mean, y'all might see it a little bit different than I do. I only see two teams. I see the Rams and the Seahawks. That's it. I see nobody else stopping the Cowboys. And the good thing is, we could possibly have one of those two teams knock each other out, and we only have to see one of those teams in the playoffs. We only have to see one of them. So, man, this is going to be a very interesting season. Very interesting season. Ready to see how it all shake down. Frank Lawrence said God works in mysterious ways. He said G was sitting nice right now, kept the entire offense together, complete upgrade, every position on defense, starting from the defense coordinator down to practice squad. I mean, man, I'm telling you, I think this team, I think the Cowboys have put together a really good team, man. And I think this team is going to be better than a lot of people think. Dare I say, we're actually one of the teams that, for a change, we're on the incline, we're on the rise, and we are facing, you think about, we got three flavors of teams that we're worried about. Only three flavors in the grand scheme of things. Flavor number one, San Francisco 49ers. A team that has given us problems in the past, but is not the same team that it's been in the past because it's a team that is older. McCaffrey, older, dealing with injuries and all these different types of things. Wide receiver spot, they got questions. Lost two wide receivers. George Kittle coming off of an Achilles. The defense, they got people coming back from injury, Bosa and others. They're not the same team. They're really not. The 49ers are not some of those same young, tough teams that we saw early on in Dak Prescott's career. Then we got flavor number two, Sean McVay. Sean McVay is, to me, he's not the team builder that Kyle Shanahan is as much as he is the super team builder. McVay, when we look at his success as far as the Super Bowl goes, super team. Super team. That's the only evidence we have of McVay. I mean, it's not that he's not a good coach, because he is. But McVay, Super Bowl, super team. That's what he is. Sean McVay goes to the Super Bowl, super teams. He thought he had a super team last year when he got Javonte Adams. Super team. Couple of referee calls and Seattle being better than everybody thought, didn't make it. What did he go do this year? Super team. They went and got three players on defense, trying to build a super defense. Myles Garrett gives you a super defense along with the other moves they made. Trying to, once again, build a super team. Trying to bring Aaron Donald out of retirement. Sean McVay, super team. So it's either make or break for him. Sean McVay's entire season also is going to be predicated on injuries. When you build a team the way Sean McVay has, one injury undoes the entire team. If you build them like that, that's the only way they can suffice. Is the whole season they have to be healthy. Think about it. One injury to one of the Rams super players, they're done. One thing I can say about the Cowboys, they've built enough depth that for the most part, I believe the Cowboys could endure some injuries. We don't want them to have to do it, but I think they can endure some injuries. But again, Cowboys are building it right. A system, depth that could all play in the system to where they can weather some things if something was to happen here or there. They're built. That's the second flavor of team that we're facing, of which I believe we can beat them, but it's going to be tough. Third flavor of team is the one that's more like us. The Seattle Seahawks. They are a team with a very good culture, very good system on both sides of the ball, very good coaches. Now, the only thing about them, we're going to see what they look like. They did lose some talent. But their system may be good enough because they got a very good system, very good coaches, that they can still thrive in that system. And so when the Cowboys win and if they meet them, and I think that'll be further down the line, it might not be in the first time we see them because I think we'll see them a second time. The second time we see them when it matters in the playoffs, the Cowboys will be more battle tested. And so really it's the Seattle Seahawks. That's really the team for me that is more like the Cowboys. But again, not taking anything away from Sean McVay, it is what it is. He builds super teams, and he's got a super team right now. Yes, Sean McVay is a great coach. There's no doubt about it. But his legacy, if you ask me, it's not that he's not a good coach, but the evidence of him getting to Super Bowls is super teams. You know what? Let's call Sean McVay the Phil Jackson of the NFL. Sean McVay to me is like the Phil Jackson of the NFL. Sean McVay, he's a great coach, but he loves talent, and he wants talent. And if you'll notice, teams aren't always winning like that, though. Those teams that build depth and build systems and all those things, we're starting to see them flourish over the last few years. All right, let's check out this thing with Mina Kimes and how she's rolling with this.
Let's get right to it. I'm going to start right away with two teams that I feel should be everybody's top two right now. And normally we would give, I would say, an elevated role to the Super Bowl champ. They're going to be one of the options here, the Seattle Seahawks. But unfortunately, the Rams decided to put together a super team this offseason.
What did I just say? I hadn't even seen this. What did I just say? I mean, that's really Sean McVay's claim to fame. It's not that he's not a good coach. So nobody's saying he's not a good coach. But Sean McVay doesn't build teams. Sean McVay builds super teams. Sean McVay isn't into necessarily building teams over time. Sean McVay likes to go into free agency, him and his GM, and the way they go to Super Bowls is they make a splash. They like, hey, man, we got to get this player. Forget that salary cap. We don't care about them picks. We don't care about any of them things. Nah, man, we just want to win, and we want to win right now. We don't. The Rams are that team that says, we don't care about next year or the season after as long as we get a Super Bowl right now. We're willing to go 2 and 3 years down. They're that type of team.
So your choice is between Seattle and then the team they beat to get to the Super Bowl, which they, of course, won, the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah. Ryan Clark, are you picking the Rams or the Seahawks for the number one team in the NFL?
I hope this doesn't hurt our friendship, but I'm going to pick the Rams. I think when you go back to the NFC Championship, it was about special teams, and then late in the season, and then you look at the NFC Championship, and it was about defense. You had Watson and Trent McDuffie on the back end. I hung out with Trent this week. He's extremely excited to be back in LA. But I think when you go out and you get Myles Garrett, it said to me that Les Snead and Sean McVay, even with some of Jared Verse's talent, understood that the statistics and his ability to finish is nowhere near what Myles Garrett is. And I think with that offense, Sean McVay's mind, Matthew Stafford back at the helm and under center, the Los Angeles Rams are on paper the most talented team. And we haven't even gotten an opportunity to see how this thing gels with their ability to implement veteran players to make immediate impact. And now you have one of the generational all-time greats in Myles Garrett.
See, that's what I was telling you about Sean McVay. And the reason why I say he's the Phil Jackson of the NFL, you can't give every coach a super team. You can't give every coach a super team. Because not every coach will know how to coach a super team and will be able to utilize all the players on that super team. What Sean McVay does a very good job of is, if you give him a super team, he'll pretty much have them performing like a super team. That's what Sean McVay does very well. Sean McVay has a great system. He's a great play caller. He's a great manager of egos and men. That's what Sean McVay does well. But at the same time, Sean McVay doesn't have the patience, because I think he's tried to do it. He doesn't have the patience to necessarily build teams. Sean McVay isn't a team builder from the ground up. He's more of that, again, he's that Phil Jackson. You think about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson wasn't about building teams from the ground up and didn't care, and it's no big deal. That's just his legacy. It's not a bad thing about Phil Jackson, because for as much as he wasn't a team builder and other coaches were, other coaches couldn't manage superstars the way Phil Jackson did. That was Phil Jackson's superpower. And to me, I kind of put Sean McVay in that same category. He knows how to manage egos. He knows how to manage egos. Has a great system, great play caller. I mean, he's one of those type of guys. And so I can see why they're giving the Rams the edge, because where the Seattle Seahawks, I believe, are built to win for years, doesn't mean they're going to go to the Super Bowl again. But they're built to win for years. I can see the Seahawks being around the playoffs now for the next 3 to 4 years. The Rams, on the other hand, they don't care about years. They're built to win right now. That's how Sean McVay likes his teams built. That's how he likes his team built. He wants them to win right now. He likes a window. He likes a 2 or 3 year window of right now, nothing else, right now. I just want to keep accumulating talent to take advantage of my play calling, things that I like to do. Demetrius Noel, he says, filling your team with talent doesn't always work. You're right, because sometimes that creates discontent, because playing can become an issue. And this is where Sean McVay comes in. If there's ever been a coach that can coach a team full of talent, it's Sean McVay. Sean McVay does that very well. And I believe the only thing that will derail the Rams, and I'm still not calling it that they're going to the Super Bowl, even though I think they got a good chance of doing it. Just like anybody else, they have to stay healthy. Because for them, they don't have the depth when you go and get those superstar players. They don't have the kind of depth that it requires. So we're going to see. JCT Slice, I agree with you. If Dak ever had a super team, you never hear the end of it. Well, I'll tell you this. Let me tell you, we're going to look up next year and we might actually be there. And we're going to, even though it would have been built the right way. Yeah, Murray Ray said, is this the year Stafford arm loses just enough? Legs, knees, back. I think he's going to be battling Father Time the whole year. Stafford don't strike me as a person that keeps himself in shape the way that Tom Brady did. Darren Posey, what is going on? Yeah, that boy, Phil Jackson is a dream snatcher. All right, let's listen to what it happened. Let's see who's the next team that pops up. Let's see. And then we're going to go to the
Let me
Cowboys.
ask you one quick question about the Rams before I move on, because I suspect everybody's going to pick the Rams. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I know the Seahawks can play the underdog card. You can actually play the underdog card, which Super Bowl champs usually can't. If you had to pick one weakness in LA or one potential issue other than Matthew Stafford being hurt, obviously, one thing that concerns you when you look at this roster that could derail this season, what would it be?
It would probably be the thing that could get Matthew Stafford hurt, which is the offensive line.
There it is.
Right.
This is going to be major in their season because their offensive line has been injured. We got to see what that offensive line is going to look like. That's going to play a major part in their season. Can they keep Matthew Stafford standing up? It's going to be a major part of their season.
Yes.
They're in some spots there. I mean, I think you look at the first layer of talent, and they're really good. They played really good last year, right? You have an offensive lineman who's already in trouble in this offseason, who's had trouble in years past, right? So you wonder what that'll look like from a suspension standpoint. And then there's no depth really to this team in the sense of having
What did I just say? I hadn't even watched this before. What did I just say? That's the problem with the super team. That's the problem with the super team format. The problem with the super team format is that once one of the players on the super team that makes it a super team gets hurt, it's no longer a super team. It's no longer a super team. In order for that super team to go and do what it's supposed to do, the players that make up the super team, they must stay healthy. And that's why I say the Cowboys, similar to the Seahawks, and I think the Cowboys may be on the verge of having a one-up on the Seahawks because the Seahawks lost some people this offseason. The Cowboys have built a system to where they actually have the depth in that system that they could withstand a little bit of attrition. That as long as it wasn't season ending. And so this is the biggest thing for the Rams. When you build a super team, everybody must stay healthy.
Top tier linemen to be that sixth and seventh lineman on game day that can go in, fill a spot, and protect Matthew Stafford. Also add to this run game, which in my opinion is the one underrated piece of what Sean McVay does as a coordinator that we don't talk about enough because of Matthew Stafford and because of Puka Nacua and Davante Adams. But the offensive line would be the thing to me that holds them back from winning it all.
Totally agree. Okay.
That's it. That's it. Let's go to the Dallas Cowboys.
I got this wrong earlier. I said it.
Because they don't get to the Dallas Cowboys wait till around the 25-minute mark. Let's see here. All right, let's get to about the 25-minute mark right here. This is where they talk about the Cowboys.
But when you really tapped into the games, and it was hard because they weren't great, he was
totally agree
extremely sticky in coverage.
So this is actually kind of interesting. So I guess kind of how she does this is that they're kind of going down the line of teams that could win the Super Bowl. And I believe the Cincinnati Bengals, as I call them, I believe the Bengals are ranked way too high. I believe the Bengals are ranked way too high. Matter of fact, before we get to the Cowboys, let's just see who number 2. Number 2 is the Seahawks. I could see that. Number 3 is the Broncos. Very interesting. Phantom broken bone in the foot away from being in the Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks. I believe the Denver Broncos beat the absolute brakes off of the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. I believe the Broncos would have beat the brakes off of them. Just another one of these instances where these weird things be happening around one Sean McVay. It's like the league says, Sean McVay, you got one, you're not getting another one. All right, number 3. Let's see. Number 4. Number 4, let's see. Looks like number 4 is the Bills. Let me see. Looks like number 4 is the Bills. Yeah, number 4 is the Bills. Number 5 is the Patriots. Number 6, the 49ers. Now, we got to see it on the field. I just think the Cowboys are going to be better than the 49ers this year. I really do believe. Man, San Francisco 49ers got a lot of issues going on. I believe the Cowboys are going to be better than the 49ers. So for me, as I see this, I'm like, man, this is kind of encouraging because it was kind of like I mentioned before we watched the video. There are only 2 teams I see in front of the Cowboys. I only see the Rams and the Seahawks. The other 2 teams I see, I really don't see. Did I not mention? I don't really see the 49ers. I think the Cowboys are better. I don't really see the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Cowboys are better. We got to get it on the field. But I think the Cowboys are better than the 2 teams they have in front of them, unless she mentions somebody else. And the only 2 are the Rams and the Seahawks. See, number 7, Baltimore Ravens. Oh, who did I say that? Okay, I meant to say, yeah, Sean Payton. Thank you. Yeah, I meant to say Sean Payton. Who did I say? Sean McVay? I've probably been saying Sean McVay so long. Number 8, Chargers. False. Man, they won't. Man, I'm sorry, but Justin Herbert is if man. They want Justin Herbert to win a Super Bowl so bad it's killing them. I guess, like Prince said, they feel like Justin Herbert got the look. That's the only thing I can figure. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's talented. But he's been, man, people be talking about Dak Prescott. Man, I've never seen Dak Prescott have some of them games. Boy, Herbert's had some bad games. Some bad games with some very good defenses. But we're going to see. I'm not buying Justin Herbert. Number 9, Houston Texans. That means C.J. Stroud going to have to make another step. Okay, and then that's where they have the Bengals. The Bengals are number 10. And then, lo and behold, let's pick it up from this part of the conversation. Because this is similar to what I'm thinking. Cowboys are going to be in the thick of this because look who they have at number 11.
Games, and it was hard because they weren't great. He was
totally agree
extremely sticky in coverage, extremely combative at the ball point.
They had
and so now it's Al Golden in another year with another opportunity with those guys. And I thought some of the players who were drafted high in years past showed some of the promise that put them in those positions. And if they can come along with their play, along with adding someone at an all-pro level in the middle of the defensive line, this team could be really good.
Just got to be average, right? Okay. You know what? I mentioned the Eagles, so let me actually give you the divisional matchup here because I genuinely think this is going to be one of the more interesting divisions in football. Eagles versus Cowboys. Who do you think is going to be better? One team we know has a top 5 offense. One team we know has a top 5 defense. Questions on the other side of the ball. Who do you like better?
I like the Cowboys. Yeah. And I know it's going to...
Can Caleb Downs play 4 positions at the same time?
Yeah.
Do that. Like that's going to be the problem.
I mean, this isn't even bandwagon riding. The Dallas Cowboys, I believe even as they are currently constructed, they're better than the Eagles. I mean, we whooped them last year with Matt Eberflus defense. Dak Prescott sliced them boys up with Christian Parker. We're better than the Eagles. with Matt Eberflus defense, y'all. With Matt Eberflus defense. How much better should we be this year than them with Christian Parker's defense, better system, better talent, and Christian Parker knowing a lot of things that Vic Fangio does? How much better should we be? I don't see the Rams. I don't see them. I'm sorry, the Eagles. I don't see the Eagles. I don't see the Eagles. I don't think they're better than the Cowboys. We were better than them with Matt Eberflus defense. I don't see him. Demetrius Noel said Justin Herbert ain't it, but they still do everything to make him and Allen the face of the NFL. I don't know. Got to tell me, Demetrius Noel, something ain't right. Man, I'm telling you, that doggone Justin Herbert is if man. Every time they talk about him, if. Jeez. Never heard nobody get that many ifs. Yep, Marvin Mays. You said it. Marvin Mays, he said, you mean the Cowboys are better than the Pigeons? He said they better than them Pigeons. Yeah, boy. All right, let's check out the rest of this, what they're saying.
Like, I think his fit is going to be extremely important, right? And you wonder in bringing over a defense coordinator with so much knowledge of what Philadelphia was able to do with extremely, like, just sort of perfect puzzle pieces on the back end, right? How can he come in and change what we saw from the Dallas Cowboys last season? You think about DeMarvion Overshown being a year healthy after the offseason of rehab last year, right? I believe that's big. Can Rashawn Gary bring you some of the pressure that you need on the outside as well? And so I think if those pieces, after what we saw from them offensively, I feel about the Dallas defense, Mina, in the same way we feel about the Bengals defense.
But they're the same teams.
Right.
They're literally the same team. They even run similar offenses, like
exactly
linebackers, weakness on both. Yeah, it's so similar.
Yeah, if George Pickens is obviously there and ready to play and locked in with CeeDee Lamb, I actually saw him this week, and he's like, man, I haven't felt this good or this healthy in 2 years.
That's great.
In the offseason. And so I think that team can be really, really competitive. And so I'll put them over the Eagles.
All right, Eagles, I'm going to put up against a team that I think I'm higher on than the national consensus, but I just look at this depth chart, and I think the defense is so underrated.
Hey, I'm telling y'all right now, their consensus is similar to mine, but I have the Cowboys a little bit higher. And actually, they are just one off from where I am, because they're saying, too, that they believe the Cowboys are better than the Eagles. But I believe the Cowboys are also better than the 49ers. I don't think people are understanding that the 49ers that we're watching right now, they are not the 49ers the Cowboys were facing when they were beating them in the playoffs. Man, we're talking about those players that once gave us trouble. Injured, missing games, coming off injuries, a lot of question marks. Who is going to be their next wide receiver? Can McCaffrey stay healthy an entire season? Can their defense stay healthy? Can Brock Purdy be better than he's been? I mean, man, let me tell you something. Man, Mac Jones was really putting some pressure on Purdy, if you ask me. We're not looking at the same 49ers team. We're looking at a Dallas Cowboys team that has literally been in a 2-year build, going into a 3-year build. And the reason why I say a 2-year build is some of the players that we got, they actually came from the 2024 Cowboys when I think about people like Overshown. Then we get to 2025 and we watch what the Cowboys did last year. And now we're in 2026 and the Cowboys are doing even better this year. So we're watching a Dallas Cowboys team that is on its way up. I mean, Dak Prescott's the oldest player on the team, I believe. If not one of the top 2 or 3 players oldest on the team, the rest of this team is pretty young. They got a pretty good mixture of age in there. But this Dallas Cowboys team is on the come up. They're going to be a problem for a bunch of teams, not only this year, but especially next year. They're going to be a problem for the next 2 to 3 years. You watch what I tell you. They're going to be a problem. What's up, 5 points to the star? Rennie Zanquini said 49ers offense without McCaffrey is just the Bears offense without Ben Johnson. Yeah. Now, the Bears is another team on the come up, but we're going to see what Ben Johnson does in his second year. Yeah, Jeremy Best said, truth be told, he said we should have swept the Eagles last season. I agree. A rundown and a fumble by Miles Sanders. 3 drops from CD Lamb. Should have swept them boys. I agree. Cowboy Mike, average defense is all we're asking for. Yep. Average defense, which I think they'll be better than average by the end of the season. Even if the stats don't show it, I think they'll be better by the end of the season. Derek said before we put the Cowboys on Mount Everest, let's see how the season goes. Yeah, but again, Derek Rose, we're talking about all things remain the same. And even now, what the discussion that we're having and they're having, I don't really think this is even a discussion about on the field. I think what we're talking about is simply, if you're just talking about on paper, because none of us can, it don't matter if we say, you know, we got to see it on the field. It doesn't matter what we prognosticate. None of that matters in the grand scheme of things. We have to see it on the field. But this is for the Cowboys. Even if they all stay healthy, on paper, the Cowboys have to be the third best team in the NFC. On paper, they have to be the third best team in the NFC. Now, nobody knows what's going to happen by the beginning of the season. As I always say, it's a battle of attrition. You know, everybody's battling attrition. Everybody's got to stay healthy. Everybody needs health. Everybody needs a team. Everybody needs luck. There's a whole bunch of factors that goes into winning. So I know all those things. So it's not about putting the Cowboys on Mount Everest. But if you're just looking at what the Cowboys look like right now at face value versus what those teams look like at first value, that's the discussion. Cowboys are better than the 49ers. They're better than the Eagles. And nobody's putting them on Mount Rushmore because we're already saying the 2 teams that I see that are going to be the problems for the Dallas Cowboys will be the Rams and the Seahawks. They're going to be a problem. And the reason why they're going to be a problem is because the Seahawks are similar to us. They are a well-ran team, well-coached team. They have actually built their team the way we're building our team. They're building it through free agency. They've built it through great drafts. They're building it through great systems. They're building it through culture. The Seahawks, man, us and the Seahawks have a lot of similarities. Meanwhile, Sean McVay, again, it is what it is. Sean McVay builds those super teams, but I give him credit because not everybody can manage a super team. Not everybody can do it. Oliver Holmes said Cowboys defense will be lights out around Thanksgiving. I'm hoping it's before then because they really needed to be lights out before then. And not necessarily lights out. Don't let me say lights out. So you're saying lights out. You're saying that that's when they're going to really, really get it going. But we need them to be better. Need them to be pretty good around by the time we see Philly. I'm telling y'all right now, we're going to talk about this more as the season goes. From Philly to Philly is going to determine everything about the Cowboys season. Everything. Rena Zanguini said, I'm confident with the defense being average. Our biggest problem is the cornerback room. But CP is the person who can fix this. Okay. Let me see something here, too, while we're on this part. I want to go back and check something. I haven't heard a conversation yet about Terrion Arnold. I want to see if there's a Terrion Arnold update. Let me see here. Terrion Arnold became a free agent. So let me read some more on this. So we're going to add Terrion Arnold into the discussion. Because his agent said there were 3 teams inquiring about Terrion Arnold. Well, I want to know who those 3 teams are. He's cleared waivers, so we haven't seen anybody come out there. So this is the update on this. Just some breaking news on this. So Terrion Arnold remains out on bail. Says cleared waivers. He's a free agent who can sign with any team he pleases. But it is unclear how likely that is. His attorney says there's 3 teams. 3 teams have already reached out to Arnold. And I'm only bringing this up because of the cornerback situation. However, it is possible he ends up on the commissioner's exempt list. Now, I'm not going to trip on the commissioner's exempt list thing because I'm not sure what that means yet. I'm not really sure what that means yet. Because if he isn't charged or he isn't found guilty, let me put it like that. If he isn't found guilty, how long would he be on the commissioner's exempt list? Because I'm telling y'all, I got a feeling on this dude, Terrion Arnold. He's playing this season. And I don't know if it's going to be on the Cowboys. I think he's playing this season. The more his legal situation plays out, I think we're going to see more teams be interested in Terrion Arnold. And I still say, I see a situation, I could be totally wrong. I'm going to try to follow this case as much as I can. I see a situation with Terrion Arnold because of what's going on with the witnesses, what's going on with the stories, what's going on with the lack of forensic evidence that's going on here. I'm not going to be surprised if we hear some kind of plea deal was made. He's going to plead down to something of a lesser charge and probably get some kind of probation, whatever the case may be, and he's going to be on somebody's team. Because from what my understanding is, he's just not a bad kid. At least that's what I'm hearing. Maybe more will come out. But I think the longer, once more things start to come out, I got a feeling there are going to be some teams interested in, a lot of us have been saying Cowboys got issues at cornerback. I mean, Terrion Arnold, man, if he can play, and you can handle the whole issue with the, because it doesn't seem like he's got character issues. Seem like he made a bad mistake. I think those are 2 different things. I'm wondering if the Cowboys are going to be interested. But from what my understanding is, okay, I'm trying to see the update here. From what my understanding is, there's no update on the 3 teams that were interested. Because that's what I want to know. Who were the 3 teams? I'm wondering if the judge asked him, who were the 3 teams? Because the biggest argument that they're having right now, is they want to have an ankle monitor on them. Okay, it looks like the hearing has been moved. I thought they were going to do it on Monday. But it says he's going to have a hearing on July the 10th to determine if he's going to have an ankle monitor. Okay. Yeah, okay, so July the 10th is the day. Let's see here. Yes, so July the 10th, I guess we'll find out. But again, I see nowhere who are the 3 teams. So that's the latest on the Jalen Carter update. It's the latest. But again, I know a lot of people are concerned about the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, you said Jalen Carter got a pass some kind of way. Yeah. I didn't think about that one. Yeah. Frank Lois said, G-Man, based on the judge and your video, the case against Terry Arnold can be dismissed. Man, Frank Lawrence, I wouldn't even be surprised at that. It could absolutely be dismissed. This is going to be a very interesting case. We'll see if the Cowboys are interested as time goes on. All right, let's get to our last segment of the day. And it's a short one, but I don't know if y'all are familiar with the annual SAC Summit. The annual SAC Summit. They have this every single year for pass rushers in this league to go to. Yep. And this is what kind of got me looking at this. Brandon Laurie over on X posted. Donovan Nazaraku will be joining our coach, Brandon Jordan, BT Jordan. Donovan Nazaraku will be joining Brandon Jordan, Rashawn Gary, and Quentin Williams at the 2026 SAC Summit. Committed SAC Summit. BT Jordan, another secret weapon for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, you never heard of it. Yes, the SAC Summit. Well, I'm kind of like you, and since I kind of really didn't know a lot about it, I went up and pulled up the website, did some research, and came up with the website. This is the SAC Summit. Looks like they have it every single year. You can see guys like Max Crosby there. Looks like Von Miller. And Von Miller's a huge, huge advocate of this SAC Summit. These are all the players there. It's an annual event that brings together the top NFL pass rushers in Las Vegas. Held over 3 days every summer, SAC Summit offers a unique chance for players from different teams to link and learn in a constructive environment while enjoying what the city has to offer. Come on, man, it's Vegas. We know what the city has to offer, man. It's Vegas. It says participants exchange skills, knowledge, and techniques in addition to participating in on-field drills, workouts, and film sessions with some of the best pass rushers in NFL history. Our host this year. Okay, I see what you're doing. Max Crosby, Cam Jordan, Von Miller. Yeah, looks like it's going to be great. I wonder who all is going to be there. Probably not doing a lot of revealing of that, but yeah. Von Miller, I've heard Von Miller talking about this before. Man, you are not lying, Jabril Quinn. Lawrence needs to go, and so does Barham. Now, they may not go, but I think they should go. They may not go because they're going to get some of that coaching in the Cowboys facility because BT Jordan is one of our coaches, which obviously the Cowboys have made some kind of agreement to where he can still go out and work with other teams and other players. I mean, not other teams, but other players from other teams, which I'll be honest with you, when I think about the fact that he gets to work with other teams, meet other players from other teams, I really think that's an advantage for the Cowboys. Because when the Cowboys go up against some of these teams, BT Jordan can tell them the weaknesses of those players. And even if he doesn't tell them the weaknesses of those players, he can tell them how to block those players. How do you block them? How do you neutralize them? You know, what do you do to get around this player? You know, so this is going to be great. But again, you know, this is the crew. Yep. So it's a pretty good amount of guys going there. Yeah, Poopy D said Lawrence and Barham needs to go. I mean, I don't know, like, I wonder how, you know, how do you wind up going? You know, do you have to sign up? Do they invite you? Whatever the case may be. But I'll be honest with you, I'd like for all of the Cowboys, I'd be honest with you, I'd like for that entire Cowboys defense to be on that joint. I'd like even defensive backs to be there if they could. I'm not lying to you. Country Field, you don't see Parsons there. Yeah. You're probably not going to see him there because he's hurt. Yeah, Parsons is in pretty bad shape, Country Field. Yeah, Parsons is in pretty bad shape. Man, Ruffin, man, I'm like Smokey from Friday, man. I'm like Smokey from Friday, man. Don't even play with my emotions like that, man. Boy, Christian Gonzalez to Dallas, that kid is a lockdown corner, man. My only problem with Christian Gonzalez, what would the Cowboys have to give up to get him? JCT said, Schotty said like 2 weeks ago that every quarterback with a flawed team should get a pass for losses if they keep battling except for Dak Prescott. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's always an exception for Dak Prescott, especially with Shady McCoy. But, yeah, I would love for the Cowboys' entire defense to be in that sack summit. Let me see something here. I did think I saw something about Gonzalez to the Cowboys, but I didn't even think twice on it because I just knew it wasn't true. I think somebody had reported on it, but I wouldn't. Ain't no, you know, because I'm like, there is no way. There is no way I believe they would trade Christian Gonzalez. It's not even about the Cowboys. Man, you don't trade that cornerback. That actually came from a Pats fan, something called a Pats pulpit. Yeah, here it is right here, Ruffin. Let me show you where that came from. Yeah, a lot of this stuff, you know, you get some of these rumors and stuff like that. They be coming from people who just be making up stuff. Trade Gonzalez to the Cowboys. Dallas has 2 first-round picks in the draft, number 12 and 2. And this is way back in March. So maybe this is still going. I don't know, you know, I don't know what you would do as far as trading. The problem is, you know, this is after the draft now. What could the Cowboys possibly give the what could they possibly give the New England Patriots to give up a defensive back with the ilk of one Christian Gonzalez? This was way back in March. That was Pat's pulpit. It ain't happening. Ruffin said, would you give up Baron Bland for him? Problem is, I don't think the doggone Patriots would give up Deron Bland, would take Deron Bland for him. I don't think the Patriots would take him. That would be the problem. It ain't the problem of what you give, what they take him. And I say no. I say absolutely no. Man, no. All right, let me see if I can find this. Okay, that was Chat Sports talking about it, but I don't see the validity of where is the story. I don't think there's any validity to the story, so. Man. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Great Dallas Cowboys show. Great chat, as usual. Great topics. Great topics. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to resume the whole situation, here's that link. I told you I'd put it in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all go and subscribe to the Twins Take podcast. Because y'all know I'm going to take all day to get through that podcast. I'm going to take all day to get through that doggone Brian Schottenheimer interview. It's going to take me 2 more shows the way I operate. So in case y'all want to watch it without my interruptions, I just put that link in the chat. Y'all can go check that out. We're going to be back at it again tomorrow. But, man, I'm excited in the direction the Cowboys are going. With everything that we're saying, and I don't mind us saying it, but we're saying all of these things. All of us, I believe, we're predicating this on the Dallas Cowboys staying healthy. We all know the Cowboys must stay healthy. But I've already given y'all my big 3. 3 things that Dak Prescott must do. Stay healthy, live in the playoffs, win a Super Bowl next 3 seasons. And I believe he's going to achieve all 3. Not because he has to, but because I want him to. Amen. But because I want him to. And because we want him to also. Dak is great even if he don't win a Super Bowl. But because he is great, he has to win a Super Bowl if you ask me. Because I think it'll put the exclamation point on a man that has overcome so much. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 4:30. DC4L, God bless. Best chat on YouTube. Let's talk Cowboys when we talk facts. Peace.